Yeah, I got you. Yeah, I guess I can. Yep. I can talk for a continuous 10 seconds, sure. I'm still talking. Yep, still talking. And I'm running out of things to say, so.
Okay, they're good. Is he still low?
Yeah.
Yeah, a little bit. All right, we got it though. He's on. All right.
I'd like to help.
Spencer Callahan is the one to see. Call 387-2323.
LA filing number 16-7969.
WNXX, Jackson, KNXX, Donaldsonville, and WDGL HD2 Baton Rouge. This hour brought to you by Spencer Callahan Injury Lawyers, LA 21-12681. Offices in Baton Rouge.
Good morning. It's 7 a.m. here on Monday, July 15th. Today in Baton Rouge, you can expect possible rainy skies with a high of 97. In hour one of today's show, Jake and T-Bob will kick things off as SEC Media Days 2024 is officially underway. You can follow us on Twitter or Instagram at OTB_ESPN and watch us on YouTube at the 1045 ESPN channel. Hour number one of Off the Bench, live from the SEC Media Days in Dallas, Texas, starts now.
Let we go! All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Jacob Hester and T-Bob Hebert.
Yeah.
Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob.
Hey, they said I got to come off the bench.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. Yo, yo, yo.
Yo, what's going on, y'all? Welcome in here to SEC Media Days. We are in Dallas, and it is officially SEC Media Day season. It is LSU Day, going to be kicking it off today. You got Brian Kelly and LSU kicking off. Lane Kiffin, Ole Miss, going to be here as well. Shane Beamer, South Carolina, and Clark Lee and Vandy bringing up the rear today. We are very excited to be back. Great work by the entire team getting on air, ready to go here. We got a lot of baseball to get to today as well. We got some great guests coming up. It's going to be a very fun day here in Dallas. Everybody's starting to roll in. You can feel the buzz in the air. For me personally, this was one of my favorite events I ever got to be a part of back in my playing career. For all these players, something incredibly fun and special over the next couple of days, and it means a lot to be here in LSU's bringing a pretty big group to here. What's going on, though, Jake? How we feeling today, man?
Feeling good, up early. The buzz is typically a little bit lower, even on day number one.
No, I agree.
I feel like there's a lot of morning shows here. I don't know. Might have to have like an anchor man style situation going on here.
Yeah, look, it looks like it's going to be a fantastic day. We actually got a pretty good setup this year. I'm excited about that. Nice little backdrop here with the giant SEC logo in the background. You can also see right there, that's the main media room. So if you look in the background, you'll probably see plenty of people walking back and forth throughout the day. As far as LSU goes here today, Jake, year number 3. Obviously, I've said multiple times, I think this upcoming USC game is the biggest game in Brian Kelly's tenure as LSU's head football coach. I think LSU desperately, and you know what's funny? So when we talk about losing season openers, we go back to what, UCLA?
No, you go back to Mississippi State in 2020.
That's right, you go back to Mississippi State in 2020.
Yeah.
But even before that, right, there's still a bad taste from like that Wisconsin game back in Lambeau.
Yeah.
There's so these things as of late have gone awry, but right now on paper, it looks like it looks like it should not, right? And so I'm interested to see how Brian Kelly feels, and we may talk to him during the show today, may record after. We'll kind of see. This is all very on our toes. But I'm just very excited to ask him, like, about this opening game and trying to make it different this year and some of the disconnect between the last couple of years and what they're going to be trying to bring here in week one. What do you think the kind of main questions that Brian Kelly's going to be answering today are?
Defense. I think that's going to be – now, he'll get some Nussmeier. He'll get replacing Jaden Daniels in the receivers. But if talking about, like, questions he's got to answer, not ones where – he can come out here and just kind of tell you about the players, it's going to be the defense. I mean, I was just over with PB and CD on their show, and that was the first thing they asked about LSU and how do you improve and how do you play Harold Perkins and what's his best position. So I think a lot of people here in this room, I think they trust that Garrett Nussmeier is going to be a good quarterback, right? And so they know the offensive line is going to be really good. So for them, that's not the storyline. The storyline is what's Blake Baker and the defensive staff going to do to this defense that was 104 last year.
Yeah. And look, if you missed it last week, I'd say go on the OTB LSU YouTube channel, listen to the interview with Blake Baker. It's kind of shocking. It's my first time really interacting with him, and then I ended up meeting one of Blake's very good friends the other night randomly, and we were talking about it, and he was just kind of laughing. And I got this to the interview. The guy, he's got such a levity to his spirit for a coach in football. Generally, everybody's so serious. Everybody's so raw, like tense all the time. And I love the energy that Baker brings. I think it's one of the reasons why he's been able to connect with his players. And, well, I remain intrigued by some of the tidbits that he dropped. I mean, I wanted to butter him up with a legitimate Damone Clark question because I do, believe that's the most fascinating turnaround I've ever seen from one year to the next. And then he went out of his way to say, yeah, we're seeing the same thing with Perk right now, right? So not shying away from expectations, and really that could be the almost theme of LSU this entire SEC media days, to not shy away from expectations, do not come out here and say, oh, well, we still have these issues. No, but to approach it confidently and say, look, we spent, no, you don't say it in these words, but they spent $10 million essentially remaking this defensive staff top to bottom. I don't care how limited you may feel like you are in some personnel spots, and we've talked about a ton, really outside of the interior defensive line, while there are question marks, a lot of them could be answered in a very positive way, right? But the bottom line is, though, the results have to happen. You have to get better, much, much better defensively. And if you do, well, then again, the world is your oyster. Because I was just looking at Jim Nagy's Twitter, and he was grinding Garrett Nussmeier film yesterday. And there seems to be a palpable level of buzz growing around Nuss.
Yeah, there is. And like I said, because, people saw flashes of him before he started that Wisconsin bowl game, but they knew about him because he was the unicorn that we talk about, the guy that just sits there and stays around, doesn't transfer. So he already had this intrigue about him. And then again, like he'd get in a little Georgia game, it'd be a flash, the Arkansas game flash. But I think the game that is really like getting everybody where they're like, okay, I feel pretty good about him is the Wisconsin game. And then how he went and won that game, having to go 90-plus yards. And so like that part of it, again, like I think you feel good about that. You feel good about where you're at. And so all the questions that they're going to have to answer today are about the things that we're talking about. And, the defensive staff and how do you use Harold Perkins and how's your secondary going to be. And so Perkins being here today, like I'm intrigued what he says. Like what's he going to say about what his role is? Like, hey, what are they telling you?
Yeah, because he's going to be the one now having to face all the firing line of like.
Because he's never been that before.
No,
right?
and it's going to be, well, what happened and what's crazy is, continue because I want to just, again, I don't want to come do his stats off of memory. I want to make sure I have his stats accurate last year.
Yeah.
Because he's going to face a lot of questions about like, why'd you struggle so much? And it just shows you how high the bar is for someone who we believe to be so talented. I mean, for most players, 5.5 sacks, 13 TFLs, that's a really, really good year. And for Harold Perkins, it's not just an okay year, but he's going to actively field questions about why'd you have such a bad year last year.
Yeah, no, he is. He's like, hey, what happened last year? Tell me about it. I mean, again, like, Burns just asked me that question. I'm like, well, I mean, it wasn't bad. And also, like, he played nickel Sam because of necessity. They needed him out there in coverage. Like, it's not a great deal that they had to have him out there. Like, you would think that they could come up with something schematically where he wouldn't have to, but that's what it was last year. And he still played well. He just, in his freshman year, he won games. And, people say, oh, he won games. And they say it loosely. No, He won the Arkansas game 2 years ago.
Won the Auburn game 2 years ago probably as well.
Probably 2 games that a freshman edge rusher went out there and won, right? So, like, that's not normal. Like, we say it all the time, but it's not actually factual. It was factual in those cases. And so, yeah, he'll have to answer those questions. He played well last year. He wasn't as impactful because the defense didn't allow him to be as impactful. That's why, like, today, I can't wait to see what he says about his role, because we heard Blake Baker talk about him and what he's done, but I want to hear from him.
Well, and honestly, and just for McCormick, that's which players there. It's Garrett Nussmeier, it is Harold Perkins, and it's Mason Taylor. So we're kind of going one by one here, talking about each guy, kind of some of the questions that they'll field today. And for Perkins last year, there's probably no greater sign of the dysfunction of that defensive staff as the fact that you spend an entire offseason training to play middle linebacker, and yet you have so little confidence in what you've done, how you've trained him, what he's shown you, what you've accomplished, that after one game you immediately just say, nope, never mind, we're out. And then you move into the nickel Sam. Again, which he did a fine job, but it's not allowed him to be as impactful as he should be this season.
Can I say I don't want wholesale changes after week 1 this year either?
Well, because wholesale changes, while I applaud, avoiding the sunken cost fallacy, yes, it means what the heck were we doing all of camp? Ow, ooh, God, I almost got a little.
Sorry, that's my fault. That's my fault. No, but I like the first year, 2 years ago, like your Charles Turner isn't your center, Dellinger's your center, and then all of a sudden it's like, oh, wait, no, we got to make a change here. And, like, there was multiple changes in a couple different spots, and, like, same thing last year. It's like, I appreciate you changing and not just beating your head against a brick wall like it's been done in the past here, but also, like, hey, let's figure these things out in training camp.
Yeah, I mean, yes, yeah, absolutely. Maybe a change here or there, but no longer wholesale. Also, if hard not to get excited about the linebacker position as a whole, which we discussed both weeks, brothers, after Blake went out of his way. Now, I always get Wes and Witt confused. Who's the older one?
Wes is the older.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, and we always,
So
we
Wes
get hype
Weeks,
on Witt.
older,
He really flashed
Weeks,
last
younger.
year. Yes,
Yeah.
but Blake went out of his way to hype up Wes, and Greg Penn brings a ton of experience to bear. So that position group, you actually feel really, really good about it, especially under Blake Baker's tutelage. And then the last player that's going to come here today is probably is the most relative unknown. Now, it's a bit interesting because he's far more experienced than someone like Garrett Nussmeier. But if you were to talk to, I feel like most National Football College talking heads, Mason Taylor's not a name that comes up.
Yeah.
And you look at, like, top 5 tight end lists, and, people talk about Prescorn from Ole Miss, and Georgia has Oscar Delp, and they also got the transfer that PFF had in their top 5 tight ends in the entire country. So a bit of an inspired and interesting choice here, Brian Kelly. Now, he loves that position. Kelly does.
EA
but
Sports loves Mason Taylor.
What's his?
He was
what's
over
his rating?
90.
He got over 90?
I'm pretty sure, yeah.
There you go, dude. So credit to him, man. Not a lot of 90s going around on this new NCAA game, which drops today, and we're here. But that's fine. It's fine.
I mean, somebody's got to have it set up, right? Somebody.
I would imagine so. Maybe John Neighbors and the Arkansas boys. But what do you think Taylor? Like, what do you think Taylor's role is here today? Because Nuss is obvious. He's the quarterback. Perkins is obvious. He's the defensive superstar that'll be on all the Nagurski and Bednarik and all those award lists. Like, what is Mason Taylor's role here today?
It's not interesting that he's here because of the player that he is, because I think he's a really good player, and I think he's going to be utilized more. I think there's some intrigue because Will Campbell's not here.
Yeah, true.
And Emory Jones isn't here. Like, those are two names that we've talked a lot about in the offseason. I think Will Campbell's the best player in college football regardless of position. But, I mean, Mason Taylor is still somebody that I expect his stats to go up. It's kind of nicked up last year. But within this offense, it feels like the tight end position is going to try to replace what they've missed in the running game from a year ago. You're not going to get Garrett Nussmeier going 85 yards against Florida. It's just not going to happen, which is fine. I think the tight end positions where they want to get some of those 5 to 7 yard, 1st and 10 type plays.
Yeah.
Maybe they don't get them out of the run game this year, but you'll see some different things in the run game. But I think the tight end's going to try to replace something that they're missing from last year's offense. Trudez Green, somebody that we've talked about and what he can do, and kind of Jamar Chase 2018, slice the playbook in half. Here's what you've got. we're not asking you to learn this whole thing, but we need you from day one. Like, so the tight end room as a whole, I mean, it's got multiple candidates. You saw a tight end touchdown in the bowl game, right? So
we don't talk about Markway a lot. I like Markway in this room as terms of being the guy that obviously you're going to use him mainly in the run game, but just like you use him in the bowl game, could be an effective red zone kind of change of pace, misdirect sort of guy, and he's got the height to go up there and get it. How do you think that depth chart kind of shakes out?
I mean, would Pimpton be the 3?
I don't know. It's
right
tough
now?
to say. It's I guess it depends on how good Trades Green is doing.
It is, yeah. I mean,
I've heard that
Taylor Markway 1-2.
Yes, and really a 1-2 with slightly different roles. I kind of feel like Trades Green is going to be the 3, just from me hearing quotes about Pimpton and some like we know about his physical potential, but just seeing the quotes about how he could increase some of his like route running and just kind of tighten up on some things. And then the kind of overwhelming potential of a Trades Green. But hey, look, maybe we can ask Mason Taylor a bit later on as well. So look, it's going to be a great show today. We will get into. I think coming up next, we'll actually take a little detour into baseball, given that as this goes on and more people come in, we may end up. Just grabbing guys here or there. Potentially Brian Kelly coming later in the show. We got Gary Stokan coming up. We got Barrett Sallee as well. So going to be a very fun show. It's a very fun week here in Dallas. And a massive thank you to Rev Business for helping to send us here and Parrish Roofing Construction. And massive thank you to all of you who hang out with us every single day here at youtube.com/1045 hit ESPN. Hit the like button. And coming up next, let's talk about the first 2 rounds, the MLB draft yesterday. Who's gone? Who's here? A massive name choosing to take their talents to Baton Rouge and forego the MLB. We'll get to it next here on Off the Bench.
Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob.
Go to K to Z Window Coverings, KTOZBlinds.com, KTOZBlinds.com. K to Z Window Coverings, look, man, if you want to bring your room to the next level, bring your home to the next level, maybe you're doing shift work and you need to make sure that your room can be blacked out during the day. Maybe it's like a nursery, a theater room, whatever, okay? Have the team at K to Z out to your home within a matter of minutes. They'll figure out exactly how the sunlight interacts with your home at every single portion of the day and then put together a custom plan for you to get you exactly what you need. Maybe it's the honeycomb shades, which can bring a room from bright to dark instantly, pitch black with sound dampening as well. Maybe it's just a little drop down cover for the outdoor kitchen while Dad's grilling and chilling. Either way, it's all at K to Z.
It is. Go to the website today to schedule that appointment. Have Brandon Barton and the team come out, know your space. Got to know it like in 5 minutes. Tell them kind of just an idea of what you're looking for, and they're going to get it done. Go to the website today, K2ZBlinds.com.
Our listeners fire off their opinions on the jimsfirearms.net hotline at 499-1045. Keep listening for your next chance to shoot us your thoughts with the jimsfirearms.net hotline on 1045 ESPN Baton Rouge.
The extra mile. It's never crowded because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
At Relief Windows, we're more than windows. We're windows, doors, hardy plank, and vinyl siding. But our number one product is always customer satisfaction. Visit us online at reliefwindows.com. Oh, by the way, we do shutters too.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Breck teamed up to reimagine your parks, and you imagined big. With your help, we went to work, creating 12 beautiful community parks across the parish. A family-sized water park, miles and miles of trails, and parks just for your dogs. There are more places to splash, to explore, to run wild, and even soar. You imagined, we delivered. Gold. Breck, your #1 park system in the nation.
Electricity is all around us, and our families depend on it. Every day is sparked by the power of a cold drink or a warm meal.
Join me for a Monday edition of the Hunt Palmer Show presented by Gulf Coast Office Products. I'll be in Baton Rouge. SEC Media Day is ongoing. LSU takes their turn at the podium. And the MLB Draft ongoing. We'll react to it all on the Hunt Palmer Show. 1 to 3 weekdays, 104.5 ESPN, Baton Rouge.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria, and 1130 The Tiger.
Yo, what's up, y'all? Welcome back to SEC Media Days. We are live here in Dallas. It is Monday. It is LSU Day, a little Ole Miss Day as well. Very excited. Brian Kelly's going to be taking the stage here pretty soon. But given that we are an LSU show, we got to talk a little college baseball here. It's the MLB Draft taking place yesterday. And, I mean, you can't bury the lead here. William Schmidt from Catholic High, the #1 the top high school right-handed pitcher in this entire draft, a guy who is going to be a top 15 guaranteed first-round MLB pick, has decided to forego the MLB and take his talents to Baton Rouge, Jake. Unreal. I love the Advocate. They talked to Schmidt and they asked him kind of what Jay Johnson's reaction, and Jay Johnson could not believe it when he got the call that Schmidt said, "No, I'm going to come and I'm going to do this thing in college and then try to go pro a bit later on."
Shocking would certainly be the word.
Yeah.
None of us had any expectation that he was coming to school. Just, you don't see a top 15 prospect, top 20 even, come to school. It just doesn't happen. And in fact, if a lot of times, if they're a top 60, it's almost like, no, we're going to go. We're going to go to the – but with the game changing, with you being able now to, throw an NIL package together.
Huge NIL win.
It's like, hey, okay, would I rather go eat peanut butter and jellies on a bus somewhere in East Lansing, Michigan, and going to God knows where for 5 years before I get to the big leagues? Or would I rather go to the SEC in LSU, my hometown, have the best of the best, probably make I don't want $1 million? I don't know.
I don't know exactly. He probably foregoes a couple million?
Yeah, right
to
now,
be top
yeah.
50, right? A couple million in the short term. I don't know exactly what the NIL package would be, but given a hometown kid with the profile that he has, given that they're already putting these packages as he's recruiting together, probably. Let's be clear. I'm speaking out of my ass, but I would hope that it's at least I hope it would at least be $500K or something if the kid's going to forego $2 or $3 million here in the short term.
I mean, I would think it's even more than that. I would. And so he takes a look at it. That's the only thing I think. Like, hey, I'm going to be in the minors anyways. I just saw Paul Skeens. He was in the minors for less than a year.
Yep.
He's starting the MLB All-Star game this year. Now, I'm not saying he's Paul Skeens. That's crazy expectations to put on anybody. But I'm just saying he sees a path where, hey, I can go to high school or out of high school. I can go to the draft and I can, bounce around the minor leagues and progress that way, because it's not like LSU players that won the national championship last year. A lot of those guys are still in high A ball. Right, and that's after playing on one of the best teams in college baseball. So it takes a long time. Like, you would go
crazy.
Rookie ball. Like, you would start at the very, very bottom. And so you see that path, like, hey, do I really want to go do that? Or would I rather go pitch in the SEC on the weekends and, also have a pretty good NIL deal?
Well, it's a validation of many different schools of thought, Jake. First off, from the Jay Johnson perspective, a guy like this choosing to come to LSU, and we'll get into the other guys who have chosen to come as well. We'll get into the guys that will be drafted, but I do want to stay on Schmidt for a second. But it's a validation, Jake, of what Johnson talks about, where the ever-increasing pitch of exactly what you're talking. Come be the big man on campus, okay? And come to school, experience everything that has to offer. You get all the nice facilities like Jake's talking about. Nowadays, because of NIL, you can also make money as well. It's also a validation of something that you talk about all the time, more in kind of the football side of things, which is the power of a flagship institution, which a kid grows up idolizing. Because, here's the quote from, I call him Billy Schmidt, but here's the quote from William Schmidt from The Advocate, quote, "Growing up here, it's always been the dream to play at LSU. And like going through the draft process, I still felt my heart was at LSU. I had really good experience, all the pro stuff, and hopefully in 3 years I'd go run through it again. But right now, I want to go win a national championship." So it's the pitch that, look, the college is not only maybe more enjoyable, but your best path to the MLB. Look at it. One of the top 10 in high school, 2 of the top 15 in high school. Everybody else coming from the college ranks, okay? Yeah. It's the fact that now you can get paid a little bit with NIL, and it's the fact that the kid just loves LSU. He's from here, and he grew up watching, and now he gets to be a part of this institution he grew up loving.
The highest rated prospect to ever make it to campus for LSU.
Is that right?
Yeah, and that's saying something for LSU baseball. We could look across. Like, I pulled up the first one, right? A quick Google search. You go to CBS, and it's like top 20 MLB guys, ranked before the draft. He's number 19 on that list.
Yeah.
Like, I can't stress enough, and our listeners know baseball enough. Like, that just doesn't happen. It doesn't happen to be a top 20 guy. If you put your name in the draft, you're going to hear it in the first 20 picks, and you decide to come to school.
He last year in high school had a 0.44 ERA. 102 Ks in 63 and 2/3 innings, a 0.91 batting average, Gatorade Player of the Year for Louisiana, and already has a 98-mile-an-hour fastball before he's even in a college pitching and development and strength program. So massive, massive win for Jay Johnson, getting the call that Billy Schmidt's going to remain in Baton Rouge. Some other wins on the day for Jay Johnson.
You think real quick, you think Jay thought somebody was prank calling him?
You would almost have to. It's because there are certain things in life where you want them so badly that you don't allow yourself to even fantasize that it might actually happen. You have to actively try to neg yourself and say, no, this will never happen, because it would be because you don't want to fall into the risk of getting your hopes up. Which, credit, a hell of a job by Jay Johnson. And I apologize if I screwed up his last name. I should know it by now. But Cade Arambide, the catcher out of Texas, the Texas Gatorade Player of the Year, a guy who was a top 120 prospect in this draft, the nation's top high school catcher. He is taking his talents to Baton Rouge. That is confirmed. 430 average, 12 home runs last year. Now between Blaze Priester, Arambide, Luis Hernandez, the guy that transferred over Indiana State, Eddie Yaman from Dayton, they both played catcher. Like, you have enough catchers now, Jake, where it feels like, okay, somebody's going to stick. So those are the guys, some of the guys who are coming. Let's get into who's not, and then we can also get into who hasn't had their name called yet. Tommy White, taken 40th overall by the Oakland A's. Huge congrats to Tommy White. You have Luke Holman taking 71st overall to the Cincinnati Reds, and Gage Jump ends up going to the A's as well at 73. As far as the signees go, Cam Caminiti taken by your Braves with the 24th overall pick. King Caminiti's cousins and an excellent pitcher, a high school cat. Signee Connor Griffin taken by the Pirates 9th overall, the lone high school player taken in the top 10. And then Boston Bateman was taken 52nd overall to the Padres. No Bear Jones, no Griffin Herring called yet. I don't know. This is where I wish Hunt was in the chat right now or with us, because he has a better read on what this actually means. What is it? What is it? General rule though? If you go in the first 3 rounds, the team knows you're coming pretty much.
That 3 rounds is what we always hear. Yeah, for sure.
So you've made it through 2. So if you want Griffin Herring and Bear Jones to end up back in Baton Rouge, then not hearing them in round 3 would maybe tip me towards saying that there'd be a very good chance that could happen.
I mean, if I'm Bear Jones, obviously, like what I did this year, right? And you never know how the next year is going to go. But what I did this year, knowing that if I could replicate that, then I'm hearing my name in the first round. I think there's a lot that you could intrigue Bear Jones with to come back, right? I mean, same thing with Griffin Herring.
Okay, so wait, it looks like okay, Hunt Palmer says first 10 rounds they're guaranteed to go. Means that they've agreed to terms. And, oh, wow. It looks like there is some very good information that that William Schmidt was thought to be absolutely gone.
Well, yeah, for sure.
But I mean,
I'm saying even probably like before it happened.
Yes, like even as of Friday morning, that there would be no way that Schmidt would be able to. That Schmidt was going to choose to come to campus.
My brother coaches at Catholic, and he's like, "What?" he's like, all those coaches thought he was gone. His high school coaches.
Unbelievable, man. So a really good day if you are an LSU baseball fan. We'll continue to watch Bear Jones, Griffin Herring, see what ends up happening there. Again, I think a good day for college baseball in general, as you look at the top 10, and it just shows how the sport is growing, man. Back in the day, this just used to be all people who you've never heard of because they were just these stellar high school prospects. But now, first overall is Bizana from Oregon State. You got Chase Burns going second, Charlie Condon third, Nick Kurtz 4th, Hagen Smith 5, Jack Caglione 6, Weatherholt from West Virginia at 7, Christian Moore from Tennessee, good riddance at 8, Connor Griffin, Seaver King, like Wake Forest, 3 top 10 picks. Actually, kind of underachieved this year. But anyway.
Minus the kind of.
Just really in a great day for college baseball in general, as they continue to prove that if you want to get paid big, you want to get drafted big, that college baseball, improving yourself on that stage is probably,
which I love,
your best pathway to doing so. I agree. Because
I mean, for so long, if you went to college baseball, they're like, oh, man, you played college. Like, you didn't get drafted out of high school.
Yeah.
I'm glad that's flipped on and said, man, the product that we have now in college baseball, it's at its absolute peak. And it's only going to get better. Like, you're talking about now top 20 guys coming to school because you can help, you can incentivize them to come to school. Like, there's a lot of people that, honestly, like I've talked to guys that got drafted out of high school that were committed. I don't know if you remember the name, Brandon McCarthy. Pitched a long time for the Rangers, White Sox, Braves. I mean, decade plus, big leaguer. He was committed to LSU. I think he grew up in Colorado. But he's committed to LSU, and he's like, man, I wanted to go to LSU so bad. I just couldn't turn down. He was a high draft pick. He's like, I couldn't
turn down the money.
At that time, there was no other alternative. Now he's still a massive LSU fan, but, like, he really wanted to come to school. He said, like, if I would have had the option of NIL or anything, like, I would have done it. So.
Hey, remember our coverage of SEC Media Days 2024 brought to you by Parish Construction and Roofing. Visit parishbuilt.com. Also, presented by Rev Business and Relief Window. Shout out to everybody who helps us to get out here for the week. It's a great week. It's going to be a great week for the conference. Yesterday, a great day for college baseball and for LSU baseball, for that matter. When we get back, let's dive back into Media Days, what to expect, the other teams that will be here today. What are you looking for there? We've got Barrett Sallee coming up in hour 2. Weekend winners coming up later in the show as well. Brian Kelly. It's going to be a great show. Keep it locked all week long here. YouTube.com/1045 ESPN. Also, WBTR Channel 19 for everybody watching on TV back home. We'll be back with more Off the Bench next.
Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob.
Go to All-Star Toyota Baton Rouge, All-Star Toyota of BatonRouge.com. You want to join the All-Star family, okay? No matter what vehicle you may need, if it's a big old truck, maybe the Tundra, it's a wonderful truck, honestly. Work truck like a Tacoma, like the real truck people. Maybe you want like a Sienna, or maybe you just have a number and you just need a car. I've gone in there and I've ended up in a Toyota Camry, and I didn't think I would have liked it. I leased it for 3 years, and it was absolutely fantastic. Okay, the bottom line is the team, the selection, the prices, the service, all unmatched at All-Star. Go to All-Star Toyota Baton Rouge, allstartoyotabatonrouge.com.
Yeah, go to that website today and find your next vehicle if you're buying new, if you're leasing, or if you are renting. If you still got a last minute, it's July the 15th. You still got a couple of weeks before school starts back. You got that summer vacation. Go ahead and rent a Toyota today. Call Miss Lisa Sessions in the rental department. Get that all set up. Everything is available. Check it out online as well. allstartoyotabatonrouge.com.
In times of need, get a full list of phone numbers, websites, and other important emergency information on the Demco Stormwatch page at 1045ESPN.com.
Farming is a way of life for us. It's not something we get up in the morning and dread going do. It's just something we go to bed at night looking forward to getting up to go do. John Deere equipment is what we as farmers strive to have. So it's in your blood, it's in your veins. It's just a part of who you are. Green is what we want to be in. The other tractors were acquired to patch it up to get to where you want to be. Where we want to be is in John Deere. Flip the switch and learn more about what it means to be powered by sunshine at sunequip.com.
Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram is taking $20,000 off new 23 Ram 1500 trucks. We're open for business in our beautiful new showroom and taking $20,000 off the powerful Ram truck. All new Bayou vehicles come with a 7-year, 100,000-mile warranty. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
Jerry and Benny Payne began Central Plumbing Company out of their driveway in Tanglewood subdivision. 50 years later and 4 generations down the road, we continue to serve Baton Rouge and the surrounding areas for all of their plumbing needs. Residential, commercial, industrial, or hospitality, Central Plumbing is here 24/7, 365.
We want to thank our customers, family, and friends for 50 years of success.
And looking forward to 50 more.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
The best kept secret in town is out. Discover Tallulah at the Renaissance Hotel on Bluebonnet.
Moscona inviting you to join us for Monday's AFR, presented by Relief Windows, live from Radio Row at SEC Football Media Days, and it's LSU Day. We'll hear from the Tigers. Join us 3 to 6, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria, and 1130 The Tiger.
All right, we are back. We are live here in Dallas for SEC Media Days again. Our coverage of SEC Media Days 2024 brought to you by Parish Construction and Roofing. Visit parishbuilt.com. Also presented by Rev Business and Relief Windows. All right, Jake, let's get into some Ole Miss talk. I think, it's kind of interesting. I think if you were to poll the college football intelligentsia about which team is the most intriguing today, you might get some hipster hamsters. Well, actually like Shane Beamer in South Carolina because what do you make of him, right? But no, I think the majority of the answer would be Ole Miss. And I told you that I believe that the USC LSU game is the most important game on Brian Kelly's tenure thus far as LSU head coach. Is there any argument? And I apologize to the old heads, okay, because I don't know. There's maybe some years in the past, so maybe I should frame this as modern era or kind of, the past 20 years. But this feels like the biggest football season in Ole Miss football history.
No, it is.
Outside of the 60s maybe. Outside of like post-60s, post all that modern era.
Right, yeah. Even if, to where college football is today, the money maker that it is today, the revenue that it brings in, right? The stage that you're on. No disrespect again to the old heads. Y'all know me. I love that.
Johnny Vaught, better watch out.
I love all of that, right? I probably would have thrived in that era, okay? But right now, with all these eyes on Ole Miss and what it can do, we've seen, Nick Saban completely changed an entire city of Tuscaloosa.
Yeah.
If you went there pre-2007 and you went back, it doesn't look like a distant cousin to the same town.
No.
Right?
No.
And so, that's what college football can do for you now. And so, Lane Kiffin and Ole Miss, they've got an opportunity to completely change everything about their athletic program, their football program. I mean, not that Oxford's nice, but you know what I mean? It can change your enrollment. It can do so many different things, and the money that it can bring in and the attention. So, no, this is the most important season in the history of Ole Miss football. I don't think it's even debatable.
And it's a season that, again, just in terms of championship expectation, we have never seen for Ole Miss. I mean, even going into last year, there were major questions about could you follow up? Would you fall flat on your face again? We just didn't know quite what to believe, what the truth of this program was, and then they put together the best season they've ever done. And really, that's been the story of Lane Kiffin in his time at Ole Miss, is doing things that they've never done before. What was it? I think it was maybe winning 10 games back-to-back times. They never won 10 regular season games. They never won 11 games in a year before. They now have done both of that, and he leveraged that into an offseason where his biggest weakness was still first off, the offensive line, and they went out and replaced the entire offensive line with talented offensive line. That we'll see how they gel together, but in theory they should be better. I would say one of the other weaknesses was still the defense. Well, they went and got Walter Nolan, the most coveted defensive transfer on the entire transfer portal market. They got the D tackle. How much do you think Nolan made? You think he's mad he didn't wait out and try to get more if
in the spring window?
Yeah, if you got.
But the only thing, if you wait in the spring window, he couldn't have played in the SEC.
That's true. So you go get Walter Nolan, you get Princely Umanmiele from Florida. So you're talking about getting a couple of elite defensive linemen there to add to the mix. It's Pete Golding, his second year in the system. And then maybe most importantly and you had some great weapons as well. I mean, we'll see Trey Harris here today. You had Juice Wells. But you've also got Jackson Dart, year 3 under Lane Kiffin. Yeah. And anytime you play for a coach for that long, there is a real rapport there, a real deep understanding of what both of you want to do and how you can both put each other in the best positions to succeed. It's actually, as crazy as it sounds to I think a lot of us LSU fans or people who have covered this for so long, it's very easy to see why Ole Miss is such a believable contender this year.
I wholeheartedly agree with you, man. And at first I try to be okay, hold up. Let's take a look at this. Let's don't just give ourselves over to Ole Miss. But it's hard not to, because think about this, T. We're talking about all these transfers that they're bringing in, 3 new offensive linemen that are going to be starters. You've got up to 5 or 6 starters on the defense. And again, guys that have proven themselves in big programs. So I'm not trying to make the group of 5 jump to the Power 4. But let's take a guy like Juice Wells from South Carolina.
Yeah.
We don't even mention Juice Wells going to Ole Miss, and he was a dude at South Carolina.
Yeah.
That's just like a piece of what they've done. Like, there's a lot of places in this conference where if Juice Wells was on their team, it'd be the lead guy they talked about. We don't even give him a mention when it comes to Ole Miss transfers. Now, some of that is because other places where they were deficient, they shored up on the offensive line on defense. But, look, I've got the our lads pulled up for you here, T-Bob. The orange is new for Ole Miss. That's how much new that it's going to be. Now, it's freshmen but also transfers that are coming in. And they did a really nice job of keeping their core on offense and defense and then supplementing through the portal. So,
Jake, you're in a bit of a dark spot here in that you hate blue chip ratio.
Okay, God, I know what I know where this was going.
And Ole Miss may actually be your greatest hope. For breaking blue chip ratio. So I'm saying, have you made peace with this fact that you're going to be an Ole Miss Rebel fan simply to spite on 3 rivals in 247? You're going to be singing Hotty Toddy.
I don't know if it's got that far. I don't know that it fits my personality, but I might have to, you know? Wow. I might have. You're
going to give to the Grove Collective and be like, guys, we got to get this done, dude.
Yeah, no, I couldn't do that because then, you know, Mincy find out about it. We can't do that. But I was over there, and we were talking to Alabama with PB and them, and I was like, you know, they're pretty high on that chart that somebody put out there earlier. I ain't giving out to that.
Wow, dude.
So Ole Miss and somebody. Who was the other team? There's another team, though, that's not on the chart.
Tennessee's right on the outside looking in, so
Florida
there's some
State,
potential
maybe?
there. Florida State gets in it after transfers. Well, I think Auburn drops out.
We got asterisks now. No.
Florida State just goes above 50% blue chip when they get transfers. The key is though, the only time a team would have won it when they weren't over 50% was when Clemson had the lead late against Alabama. I think it's in one night that Alabama came back and ended up beating Clemson. And then, like, when Winston and Florida State won, I think they were at, like, 53% last year in Michigan. So, generally, it's to have a really good team with a transcendent quarterback. And even for whatever J.J. McCarthy was last year, maybe he wasn't transcendent, but in the biggest moments, I mean, he was still very good. So, you could see that with Ole Miss, though. Very good everywhere, and I believe Jackson Dart's a top 5 guy guaranteed. Maybe not maybe. He is a Heisman contender. He might be the Heisman Trophy winner when it's all said and done.
You know, the data is the data. I do get that. But you know what also we don't talk about? There's teams on that blue chip ratio chart that suck.
Which is why I use that
more
chart.
Than are good.
I use that chart not to determine if I think this team is good or not. I use it to attack coaches. I use it to give credit or to attack coaches. So, yeah, if you're Mario Cristobal and Miami stays up there, you are underachieving, right?
I can get behind.
That's mainly how I use it in my head. Yeah. And then it's like if you're again, it spoke to Harbaugh's culture that they would be so low on that list, but still beating all these guys who are vastly more talented. It's one of the great reasons why it's like, well, Ryan Day, you're so good at putting this team together, but what's wrong with your culture that you can't infuse it with toughness or the ability to perform at the level that it should?
I mean, they were a shank kick away from winning a natty.
No, I know. And we've rubber banded too hard on the Ryan Day stuff, and I think they look awesome this year. They're going to be incredible, but again, they have to. I mean, if they were to lose again to Michigan this year, that would actually probably be it for Ryan Day.
Yeah, which is it's wild. It is wild, but that probably is the case. I mean, CBS Sports came out with their hot seat rankings. I believe Dennis Dodd does that every year. It's like 1 through 5, how hot it is, 5 being the hottest, and he's got a 3. He has got a 3 ranking on that list, and so, you know, I can't imagine Ryan Day would ever be in trouble with the games that he's won, but they have a Michigan problem. And if you don't beat Michigan when you've only returning, 35% of your production, you've got so many issues trying to find a quarterback. You know, Alex Orji's not taking that job and ran away with it. They've got 4 guys still going into camp that have a shot to be the starter. You got Texas week 2. So this is not the version of Michigan that we've seen over the last 2 or 3 years.
But they do have Will Johnson and Mason Graham.
So they got a really good defense.
Their defense is still
now,
incredible.
if they lose games, which they're probably going to, it's going to be 17-14.
Yes. Some real Big Ten barn burners coming Michigan's way this year. All right, when we get back, wrapping up hour number 1 of OTB.
Off the bench with Hester and T-Bob. Bob.
Go to Community Steel Company, communitysteelco.com, communitysteelco.com. Hey, Brian Haydad, you need steel? Well, how about some local purlin, tubing, steel accessories, roofing, sheet metal? It's all there in Gonzales, Louisiana. Go check it out today. Community Steel Company, communitysteelco.com.
Go to that website today and check out what T-Bob was just telling you about, but also remember you can go to that website, top right corner of the website, click on Community Steel. It's going to tell you exactly where they're located in Gonzales, Louisiana. That way, well, look, you can't get there today. You'll know how far it is away, and you can pick up the phone and give them a call at 225-647-2020. So go see them. Call them today. Either way, communitysteelco.com.
Get the 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge app powered by Bayou Ford and tap the microphone icon to send us your thoughts in an audio message. Your message could be played on air during Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob, The Hunt Palmer Show, and after further review with Matt Moscone.
Bayou Ford has $10,000 off F-150. $10,000 off the new 2024 Ford F-150. And all new Bayou Ford vehicles come with a 7-year, 100,000-mile warranty. The crew at Bayou Ford is going to do right by you.
Farming is a way of life for us. It's not something we get up in the morning and dread going do. It's just something we go to bed at night looking forward to getting up to go do. John Deere equipment is what we as farmers strive to have. It's in your blood, it's in your veins. It's just a part of who you are. Green is what we want to be in. The other tractors were acquired to patch it up to get to where you want to be. Where we want to be is in John Deere. Flip the switch and learn more about what it means to be powered by sunshine at sunequip.com.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Breck teamed up to reimagine your parks, and you imagined big. With your help, we went to work, creating 12 beautiful community parks across the parish. A family-sized water park, miles and miles of trails, and parks just for your dogs. There are more places to splash, to explore, to run wild, and even soar. You imagined, we delivered. Gold. Breck, your #1 park system in the nation.
Electricity is all around us, and our families depend on it. Every day is sparked by the power of a cold drink or a warm meal, a movie night, and a comforting light at the end of a dark hallway. From sunrise to sunset, playtime to bedtime, our team is ready to take care of your electrical needs. Even in the case of an after-hours emergency, the light in your life shines brighter with Mr. Electric.
The best kept secret.
Join me for a Monday edition of the Hunt Palmer Show presented by Gulf Coast Office Products. I'll be in Baton Rouge. SEC Media Day is ongoing. LSU takes their turn at the podium. And the MLB Draft ongoing. We'll react to it all on the Hunt Palmer Show. 1 to 3 weekdays, 104.5 ESPN, Baton Rouge.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria, and 1130 The Tiger.
What's up, y'all? Welcome back to OTB. We're live. Our coverage of SC Media Days 2024 brought to you by Parish Construction and Roofing. Visit parishbuilt.com. Also presented by Rev Business and Relief Windows. My God, though, I got to be honest, I'm very happy to be here. Very excited. Seeing a bunch of old friends and whatnot, going to talk to a bunch of great people. But I am jealous of all you who are getting to play NCAA football all day today and take off all day of work and just be grinding NCAA 25. I don't think I'm going to be able to get it till we get back, but whatever. That's fine. Cannot wait to get my hands on it eventually. Did T-Bob wear a suit for NCAA release day? No, it was not for that. But I did finally decide to dress up. I got so sick of hearing about all of I just got so sick of constantly hearing crap from people for being underdressed on LSU Day that I said this year we're going to overdress, and then no one could say anything. Shout out Pierce Bespoke for the suit. I love this suit. Same guys that fit Will Campbell, you know. Not to brag, me and Will Campbell, basically the same player. Credit to Will.
Both over 90s.
I was about to say, credit to Will. He technically did edge me out. He's a 96. I was a 92. But we both have the title of being the highest rated players on our team.
Can you
know?
look up like past ratings like from way back in the day?
I don't know how far. Is your mic turned all the way down? Can you hear me? No, I can hear you.
You can hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Okay.
Okay.
I was being paranoid. We're good. I don't know how far back.
Because I don't even know if I ever got like in the 80s.
Chat. Chat. Do that. Chat. Help us out. Give us Jake Hester's NCAA ratings as we celebrate.
Senior year, 2000, would that
It would have been NCAA 06. Oh, wait, no, sorry. No. Yeah, right? Because that's how. Wait, no, NCAA 08.
I know. Was it like a year after? My brain's not working.
No, I think just 07. I think it would have been 07 because they released the game for that year's number. It would have been NCAA 07 when that would have been the year your senior year for sure.
Oh,
That's
yeah,
right.
Yeah,
That's
the
right.
the quarterback from Boise State, 08. Don't know.
Zabransky?
Yes. Yeah, so it would have been 08. Yeah, you're right. It was always a year.
Oh, so it was. I'm so confused now at this point. I don't know what we're talking about anymore. Shout out to everybody, though. NCAA. Oh, because this is NCAA 25, but we're going into the 24-25 season. Okay.
Yes.
Shout out to everybody getting to play NCAA 25. Coming up next hour, we still got to get to some stoppage time. We got Barrett Sallee as well. More college football talk. Brian Kelly coming up near towards the end of the hour. Keep it locked here on Off the Bench.
Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob.
Go to RejuveMeMedical.com. Restore me, refuel me, Rejuvame. Yeah, I don't know what happened to your mic there for some reason. Go to Rejuve Me today, though. You're going to feel younger, better, faster, stronger. This is basically the medical equivalent of PF Flyers, okay? And so you're going to go in, get a free consultation, get your labs drawn. That's going to tell Rejuve Me where your body's deficient, where it's strong, and then they're going to use that information to customize a plan for you with the plethora of services that they offer. So this could be anything from as simple as like B vitamin shots, but maybe it's hormone replacement therapy, maybe it's semaglutide, maybe it's not. They do, you got facial aging, mental aging, mood, memory, insomnia problems, all of it. Your answer is Rejuve Medical. Restore me, refuel me, Rejuvame.
The Windsor Senior Living Community in Mandeville, Louisiana is a beautiful, vibrant apartment community geared toward seniors. They are nestled right in the heart of Mandeville, where seniors live a more carefree lifestyle in spacious apartments with the peace of mind that comes from having a little extra help. Call the Windsor at 985-624-8040 to schedule a lunch and tour. Come see how the Windsor can be your passport to peace of mind.
At Relief Windows, we're more than windows. We're windows, doors, hardy plank, and vinyl siding. But our #1 product is always customer satisfaction. Visit us online at reliefwindows.com.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona. For years, you've heard me tell you about Insurance Network of Louisiana, helping you find better coverage for less money. But it's not just for your home and auto. They also offer commercial property. So, retail stores, professional offices like doctors, dentists, attorneys, clothing boutiques. Insurance Network of Louisiana can find you better coverage for less money. They service the entire state of Louisiana, and they're local. So call today at 293-0450 or lainsurance.net.
Jerry and Benny Payne began Central Plumbing Company out of their driveway in Tanglewood subdivision. 50 years later and 4 generations down the road, we continue to serve Baton Rouge and the surrounding areas for all of their plumbing needs. Residential, commercial, industrial, or hospitality, Central Plumbing is here 24/7, 365.
We want to thank our customers, family, and friends for 50 years of success.
And looking forward to 50 more.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
Farming is a way of life for us. It's not something we get up in the morning and dread going do. It's just something we go to bed at night looking forward to getting up to go do. John Deere equipment is what we as farmers strive to have. So it's in your blood, it's in your veins. It's just a part of who you are. Green is what we want to be in. The other tractors were acquired to patch it up to get to where you want to be. Where we want to be is in John Deere. Flip the switch and learn more about what it means to be powered by sunshine at sunequip.com.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail.
Good morning. It's 8 a.m. here on Monday, July 15th. Today in Baton Rouge, expect possible rainy skies with a high of 97. In hour 2 of today's show, we'll continue our coverage of day 1 of the 2024 SEC Media Days, and Barrett Sallee hops on the show at 8:15. You can follow us on Twitter or Instagram at OTB_ESPN and watch us on YouTube at the 1045 ESPN channel. Hour number 2 of Off the Bench, live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge. Live from Dallas, Texas at the 2024 SEC Media Days starts now.
Let we go! All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Jacob Hester and T-Bob Hebert.
Yeah!
Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob.
Hey, they said I gotta come off the bench.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. Yo, yo, yo.
Y'all, welcome back. OTB live here at SEC Media Days in Dallas, Texas. Our coverage of SEC Media Days 24 brought to you by Parish Construction and Roofing. Visit parishbuilt.com. Also presented by Rev Business and Relief Windows. LSU right here on the edge of cranking up. You think they probably got wheels on the ground already. Players getting their final little tune-ups before they will be subject to just cameras and questions from all different directions all day long.
You came to this event,
I
right?
did. It was one of my favorite memories ever. I was.
Do you remember like the moments leading up to it?
Oh yeah, it was great, dude. We took a private jet over, which was really cool. I got to skip the 110 test, which was even cooler.
For you, that's
and because I was a
big
senior. Moffitt actually didn't make me take it. He let me just do a couple. Wow. He let me just do a few makeup workouts in the in-between dead week instead of going home. So I had to go, and yeah, it was awesome. But I remember like the private jet over here. I remember having a suit on that was too tight, and I remember having to shave. And I was like,
when you.
I mean, I was overflowing. It just looked so. And we had to film this, so you also, like, you not only do a bunch of interview stuff, but you do, like, a bunch of B-roll stuff that can be used later on. Right. And I filmed something that ended up being used at the SEC Championship. And everybody started clowning the hell out of me when it came on screen because I just looked so fat and so young and so goofy with my chins being pressed up, and it was like trying to stuff a marshmallow into like a straw that's too small. Is how I describe what my head looked like.
You just said chins, so plural?
Well, it's because, yes, like, already at that time, I was pretty round-faced and, working on that double chin, but then the suit was just like, and so, yeah, and I was fresh shave, no beard to hide any of it or create a jawline like a lot of us want to do. But I remember being one of the most fun days ever, man. You just felt so cool. You felt so important. Like I said, the private jet.
Yeah.
All kinds of funny questions. That's where I learned about all the NCAA rating stuff, because those are like a bunch of the questions that I was fielding. And then
did you like buy into like, yeah, they got it right for sure?
No, I don't even.
Forget all those.
I actually have no idea. I do not remember how I would have answered that. I probably just laughed it off. I remember trying to be like charm people. It was also kind of funny seeing like some of like the quarterbacks media scrums versus maybe the O-line ones, but it was a great day. And then afterwards, I remember Coach Miles and me and Jordan and Ryan Baker was the other guy that went. Another unheralded old LSU, really just like core piece of that 2011 team. I think maybe it was like, does Arch Manning did he have a steakhouse maybe? I can't remember. We went and got like a really nice steak afterwards.
Birmingham?
Yeah. We went and got a really nice steak afterwards, and then we flew, or Hoover, I guess, and then we flew home in the PJ. And it was a whirlwind, really cool day. At a time when you weren't used to feeling like a professional football player. Now I feel like they probably feel this all the time.
Yeah.
But at a time when you weren't used to feeling like a pro, it really made you feel like a pro, and that was very cool.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm sure that experience is something that is a core memory, and I'm sure
it is.
I'm sure you would love to see those interviews back.
God,
now that
I
you
would.
do this as a professional, just to kind of grade yourself off that.
I also Brett Moore says T-Bob looked like a busted can of biscuits in a tie. Yes, that's actually what I was looking for as I was struggling to grasp my analogy. Yeah, that busted can of biscuits. By the way, we're getting Hester's NCAA rating. We have somebody saying 93. We have somebody saying 91. The answer is critical, given that I was a 92. Okay, so we must
critical.
So we must know what the truth of this was.
Although I thought I was like not even in the 80s. So if I get in the 90s, big win.
Yeah, huge win, dude. Huge win. I forgot what I was going to.
Sorry, the biscuits threw us off.
The can of biscuits got me for sure. Oh no, I was going to say probably my favorite interview from Media Days. It's when Mike Leech was taking a break from coaching and he was doing radio for Sirius XM, and he was just so cool, man. He just oozed cool and intellectualism and interesting questions, and you could tell he was just having fun. And it's the only time I ever met him, it's the only time I ever interacted with him, and it just really left an imprint on me. He was awesome.
Oh, there's no doubt. He used to do so they said like he used to do it from his backyard, and in between segments during the breaks, he would jump in, swim a couple of laps in his pool, and then come back out and then start the segment again.
Wow.
Yeah.
Swing your sword, dude.
Yeah.
Absolute legend. Rest in peace, Mike Leach. Here's to hoping that Jeff Lebby can bring back some of that Leech excitement that they had going on a couple of years ago before Zach Fartnett took over. Does anybody say that, Rivers? Did I just make up Fartnett? Because Fartnett is really funny if I say so.
You've said that so many times.
I've said that?
Yes, you say that.
Guys, I think my brain's broken. I don't know what's wrong with me.
But I do know State is.
You guys talk. I never know what's going on.
State is cool.
Hell yeah, dude. Never forget. We'll talk Mississippi State when it's there today. Rivs, how you feeling about Ole Miss today? Oh, I forgot. According to you don't really care about Ole Miss, do you?
I don't think anything about Ole Miss.
You don't really care? Oh, okay. Okay, I don't think anything about it. I don't think it. You're right. You're right. I believe you. I definitely believe you.
T-Bob is just mad because I'm making him defensive about him caring about A&M so much.
F him, dude. Okay, rank. We were doing this at dinner last night. Rank the SEC teams that you hate the most. Your personal rankings, not about who the fans hate the most.
Are we doing hate, or are we doing who you want to beat? I think it's different because you can want to beat a team without hating the whole school.
I think in my head, I think they are part and parcel. I think they're one and the same in my head.
Okay.
For me, it would be Alabama 1. It would be Arkansas 2, probably.
Okay.
Then it would be, but it's they're less threatening, so generally that's fine. But F him. But
right. So do you hate Arkansas?
no, I guess I don't really hate Arkansas. Actually, if I'm being honest, no. I mean, for a while it would have been Arkansas. I guess a lot of that's kind of passed now. Okay, I go Alabama 1. I'd probably go Florida 2, Ole Miss 3, A&M 4 is what I would say. And then Arkansas.
I think I go Florida.
Of course.
We knew that.
Yes,
We
shut
knew
up.
that.
Florida, Auburn,
Huh.
A&M, Alabama.
Okay, so your answers, I guess both of you, are they based on this current year, what you want to see LSU do, or is it just based on past feelings and?
This is given.
It's 39 years of life.
Yes, that's what I'm asking. I mean,
this is based off of who.
would your answer be the same if you had to do it just for this year? Would it be the same?
No.
What would it be?
If it was just for this year, I'll actually, let's say that you're going to say, hey, you're going to go 10-2. Now pick who you beat and kind of lose to. In Alabama lost, kind of whatever. I mean, the teams I would most want to beat this year, I want to beat. I mean, Florida wouldn't be on this list because I absolutely think you're going to beat Florida. Let me pull up LSU's schedule real quick if I'm actually going to do this. I want to do this correctly. I don't want to answer wrong here.
So we're just talking about this year, Jake.
Yeah.
If you had to make that list for this year, not based on 39 years of hate.
Yes.
This year, what would your list
It would be Alabama for sure because that would be absolutely massive to beat Alabama at home. It would then be Ole Miss because to get revenge for last year and have a hand in ruining what should be their perfect season. That would be very nice.
Would love it.
And then at A&M probably after that because that's kind of a scary game. And I think A&M's going to be really good this year, and I don't want to be really good this year. And if they beat you in College Station, then it's going to be a year. I mean, on the recruiting trail, that'll try to be leverage against you. It'll be a year of
of just A&M.
Yeah, it'll be a year of just A&M crap
Bunch
talking.
of cheerleaders.
I think.
Or yell leaders, sorry.
I like the yell leaders.
I like
for
your
whatever it's
list.
worth.
I do like your list. No, you don't.
I actually do.
I would say Ole Miss.
Yeah, Ole Miss could also be
A&M,
one.
Oklahoma.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and whatever, the Alabama game. I feel that because if you beat A&M, Ole Miss, and Oklahoma, then you're going to the playoff.
Yes. A&M because you haven't won there in a long time. 2016, I think it's the last time.
Oh wow, it's been
you
that
won
long.
there because the 7 overtime
That's why you
game.
hate them.
You lost that
Yeah,
one.
I mean, that's exactly. I would say that'd definitely be one of the reasons. Yes,
Even though you definitely hold the series lead since they joined the SEC, you struggled there.
Yeah.
To win. Ole Miss for the same reasons, they're trying to be on a level that you've been on before. You want to try to knock them down so they don't get on that level. Just another team you have to worry about every single year. And then for Oklahoma, just hey, welcome to the league.
Welcome to the league.
Welcome to the SEC.
Here's an
It's the
L.
last game of the year. I think
It's
they're
going to be
trying.
a hyped up last game of the year too.
They're trying to make us a thing. For a long time they tried to make A&M and LSU a thing. It was like Fetch and Mean Girls. Okay,
But they made it though.
But it took 7 overtimes.
Yeah.
Right.
For
Did
that
they?
to make a
It
thing.
really it made a thing for T-Bob.
It did.
It's a
No,
thing.
I don't think
think
it's
it
just
took-
me.
it took the
I
7 overtime
again,
game.
I think that the element with A&M thing that we just we cannot ignore is the alumni fan base, the alumni base. There are more people, more LSU fans in Houston than any other place in the world that is not Baton Rouge. And so I know multiple cousins, uncles, family members who all throughout their high school, everything living in that area, it was just a constant bragging rights battle between them and their neighbors. And so I think that's why that rivalry made a lot of sense. LSU Oklahoma is sexy from a brand matchup, but there's really not a lot of animus between the fan bases.
Yet.
I mean, there's the national championship. Yeah, maybe they make it happen. But I was a hater. I didn't think they'd be able to make A&M happen, but it did.
Yeah, look, I mean, you've played last 2 times you've played them, national championship semifinal.
I forgot about the semi. That's right.
I mean, in 2019, LSU just scored again. So right next to us is Toby Rowland and Chris Plank on the Oklahoma Sooners football
You
call.
gonna start a rivalry now?
Should we ask them if they care about us?
Let's go poop on their road.
I like Chris a lot. He's one of my guys on Sirius XM. But I mean, we can talk trash. Though.
I think Oklahoma is fascinating in that there's that whole grouping of teams that I would describe as borderline playoff teams that are going to try to go 10-2 to make the playoff. I would say it's Tennessee, Ole Miss, LSU. Who am I missing, Jake? Out of kind of the borderline teams.
You said Mizzou. You said
Mizzou. I missed Mizzou. Okay, so those 4 teams. Oklahoma plays all 4 teams.
Yes.
So, like, whoever beats Oklahoma versus who loses to Oklahoma may actually decide.
5 weeks
Well, yeah. Good luck with that, guys.
Like,
Good luck with that, guys.
if I'm Joe Castiglione, I'm like, hey, Greg, like, what did we do? Like, I thought we were in this together.
Nah. And Greg's like, nah, we only really cared about Texas, Joe. Sorry. This entire time, that's all we really cared about.
Oklahoma is, if you're going in the totality of college football, the history of it, Oklahoma's a top 3 program of all time.
Yeah, much better. A much better resume than Texas.
Much better than Texas in the Big 12. They won 14 titles. Texas won 4.
It's the
but
cruel
still,
irony.
I know what you're saying.
It's the cruel irony of the Sooners, all that dominance, and yet at the time when you need to be peaking,
out of that?
Yeah, only one natty.
So they were the Braves.
They were the Braves.
Yeah.
That's actually a really good analogy. But then even worse is at a time when they should, or where you would hope that they would be at their best, they appear to be potentially at their lowest. All right, what we got back? We got Barrett Sallee coming up, talking a little college football. Keep it locked right here on Off the Bench.
Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob.
Go Tommies, GEAUX Tommies.com. That's the website for Tommies, windows, doors, and siding. Tommies is your expert if you need any if you need hardy plank or vinyl window siding, you need wood or vinyl windows, you need any type of door, Tommy's has your back, man. And the thing about Tommy is, well, he actually came to LSU originally as a member of the Golden Band from Tigerland, right? So already you can get a sense of the perfectionism, right, that it takes to be successful in that business. Then gets in the window game. For 20 years he's worked. He says, I've learned enough. I want to do my own thing. He makes his own company. And now the last 7 years have been a resounding success. Why? Because the customers are consistently satisfied to the nth degree. So put it to the test. I always say this. Make Tommy one of your 3 bids. Okay? Make him one of the bids and let them prove to you whether they're the person of your job. GEAUXTommies.com.
Our listeners fire off their opinions on the JimsFirearms.net hotline at 499-1045. Keep listening for your next chance to shoot us your thoughts with the JimsFirearms.net hotline on 1045 ESPN Baton Rouge.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected. Supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team. And backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Electricity is all around us, and our families depend on it. Every day is sparked by the power of a cold drink or a warm meal, a movie night, and a comforting light at the end of a dark hallway. From sunrise to sunset, playtime to bedtime, our team is ready to take care of your electrical needs. Even in the case of an after-hours emergency, the light in your life shines brighter with Mr. Electric.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona. For years, you've heard me tell you about Insurance Network of Louisiana, helping you find better coverage for less money. But it's not just for your home and auto. They also offer commercial property. So, retail stores, professional offices like doctors, dentists, attorneys, clothing boutiques. Insurance Network of Louisiana can find you better coverage for less money. They service the entire state of Louisiana, and they're local. So call today at 293-0450 or lainsurance.net.
Jerry and Benny Payne began Central Plumbing Company out of their driveway in Tanglewood subdivision. 50 years later and 4 generations down the road, we continue to serve Baton Rouge and the surrounding areas for all of their plumbing needs. Residential, commercial, industrial, or hospitality, Central Plumbing is here 24/7, 365.
We want to thank our customers, family, and friends for 50 years of success.
And looking forward to 50 more.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's
Moscona inviting you to join us for Monday's AFR, presented by Relief Windows, live from Radio Row at SEC Football Media Days, and it's LSU Day. We'll hear from the Tigers. Join us 3 to 6, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria, and 1130 The Tiger.
I knew John Neighbors was going to have NCAA 25 set up at the thing. Yeah, can we expense it? Moscona, can I expense an Xbox for guarantee for our table? Come on now. Hey, what's going on there? Welcome back to SC Media Days 2024. T-Bob and Jake. And now sandwiched in between us, I guess you could say he's smothered and covered.
Hey, I see what you did
there.
there.
Barrett Sallee, host of Smothered and Covered for it's a great college football podcast. Check out. Also working at Outkick as well. Barrett, what's up, brother? How we doing today, man?
We're doing good. We're doing good. The college football game comes out today, and that's the most important thing.
Yeah.
I don't care that these coaches are here. We have to find a way where all the media folks can have some sort of tournament.
Well, then that's, maybe John, again, I figured John Neighbors, who, of course, is rated over there out of Arkansas. I remember he had the NCAA set up in Hoover. He had 14 set up years ago.
Right.
So it sounds like you've already talked to him, and he has confirmed he'll have it at the table.
He will have it, and he's right next to my show, which is very helpful. But he only brought one controller.
Which that is a rookie move by a veteran player.
That is very rookie.
Yes.
That feels like doing all the hard work. You know what that reminds me of? One of the weirdest things I ever did in my life. So like you graduate high school, you have your senior party, everybody gives you stuff. You're supposed to send them out thank you cards.
Yep.
I wrote and addressed all the thank you cards, like a couple hundred of them, and then I just put them in a bin and I never mailed them. That's basically what John did. He lugged the Xbox here, the TV.
Right.
He brought
all the HDMI cords.
He brought the new game, and then he just didn't bring a second controller.
I mean, there's a Best Buy around here somewhere.
Yeah.
I mean,
Oh yeah. We
at least can have one delivered.
That's what I was about to say. Yeah, you can like Walmart, Instacart, something. Will deliver.
Did y'all drive or did y'all?
We flew.
Yeah.
We flew. We're big time now.
Yeah, it's like 7 hours too.
Rental cars not going to happen.
No,
so Barrett, coming up today, obviously LSU's leading off. We got Ole Miss, we got South Carolina, we got Vanderbilt. Who is the most interesting team here to you today?
Vandy.
Don't lie.
Not really.
I want to put a theory to the test. Who's the most interesting team here to you today?
LSU.
Really? Not
Yes.
Ole Miss?
Lane doesn't say anything.
That's fair.
Like, I know that there's this idea that Lane is this, like, mythical creature who will drop every soundbite you can possibly have. That's not really who he is.
No.
It's the exact opposite. I mean, when I was at CBS, and CBS was a partner with the SEC, we used to get one room, and we'd have every coach and every player for 10 minutes. And I had Lane, this is probably 3 years ago, and our producer was here for the first time, and he was like, oh, my God, I can't wait. Lane's coming in. And afterwards, he's like, how the hell did you get even 5 minutes out of that guy? And I'm like, dude, I don't know.
Yeah.
I get no idea.
The only thing that he'll ever say, I guess, I know what you're saying. The only thing it's not Twitter Lane. And then really the only thing he'll ever say that'll make headlines will be something about like NIL and needing a salary cap. But he's not going to, he was not the prince that was promised like we were hoping post-Spurrier that somebody would take. Still nobody's really taken up that Spurrier
Eli
mantle.
Drinkwitz.
Eli has.
Oh, that's true. Okay,
Yeah,
Eli, you're right.
has.
Eli's probably the closest
And
thing to it.
Shane's kind of like a diet version.
Yeah, but it's tough. I mean, now Eli's empowered by the 10 wins, so he can really lean into it. Beamer, like that. That is not the headline of today, but Beamer and South Carolina are in a bit of a weird spot.
Yes,
but then
they
again,
are.
South Carolina's never been good at football, though.
No,
ever.
not lately. Not lately.
Ever. I looked it up. Ever. They've been playing football since 1890s.
They had that 3-year stretch with Clowney.
Outside of the Spurrier 3 10-win seasons, they have one 10-win season over 100 years of football.
Yep.
Like, they've never been very good, but still, I mean, like, so I guess my question is, what's the expectation for Beamer?
Bowl game, like that's got to be it moving forward, right? You have to get to a bowl game, but like with Texas and Oklahoma and no divisions, like everything's been recalibrated, right? So South Carolina winning 10 games, that's not going to happen, like ever. Like that's just not going to happen again. Now 8 or 9, like that's their pop, right? That's when everything sort of comes together. But 7 and 5, 6 and 6, I mean, just keep your boosters happy enough. But the thing is, I don't know if anybody, especially like the money men and money women who support these programs, I don't think anybody mentally has recalibrated where they should be.
Yeah, I mean, well, and look, if you can manage 8 or 9 wins a year, just look at Mark Stoops, and they'll pay you like $9 million.
So just to let you know, I'm a huge Mark Stoops fan.
I am too.
He is not.
He should have been hired by Texas A&M last year.
See, he's a denier. He doesn't remember Kentucky football and how bad they truly were, though.
Like Randall Cobb was there, and they still sucked.
You're right. The 2 SEC wins.
You
Mark
just went
Stoops,
over to South Carolina. They were for Kentucky.
The 2 SEC wins. Mark Stoops. Yeah, Steve Spurrier won 11 games 3 times. Mark Stoops has beaten 2 teams that finished with winning SEC records, and they both finished 5-3. That's the man you wanted to hire at A&M. That would have been.
What's Mike Elko doing?
That would have been like
when we believe in Mike Elko, right?
Yeah, he was good at Duke. Where else was Steve Spurrier good at? Duke.
But you don't.
Come on.
I'm just saying, dude. I don't know, dude.
Kentucky football was horrid.
I think it's way harder to win at Duke than it is. Look, that's fine. Look, your guy will prove me right or wrong. Okay, your guy will prove me right or wrong. I don't want to get too buried in the soup suite here because you said you think LSU.
No, because he agrees with me.
That's right.
For so many years, you've been fighting me against it.
I mean, well, no, please take it away. Tell me why Mark Stoops is such a good coach.
I'm telling you because of how hard it is to win in Kentucky.
It's very hard to win at Kentucky. And he not only did he win at Kentucky, he created an offense that was dangerous. Just dangerous.
Liam Cohen created it.
Okay.
But
who hired him?
Yeah, but then what happened when Cohen left? But who's getting paid? I don't.
Well, they had Luther Burden at quarterback because of injuries in one game.
I will say this though,
changed their offense in the middle of a year.
That is right.
There is a lot of hype around. Isn't Vandegrift supposedly?
Vandegrift's really good, dude. This fun fact.
I've heard a little smoke on the street, so that's going to be Mark Stoops' greatest hope to maybe proving me wrong.
Vandegrift's dad was my assistant baseball coach in high school.
Oh wow.
Yeah. That doesn't matter. That doesn't mean he's going to be a good football player.
Yeah, there you go. He's biased.
He used to have us over and we'd watch WWE. And he used to throw us on couches, which would probably get you arrested these days.
So you said LSU's your most interesting team. Why?
Because what is LSU, right? I think there's this idea that they are sort of in this Tennessee, Missouri sort of bubble behind the bigger four.
Yes.
And they really shouldn't be because they should be a power.
Who do you call the big four? Because I think of a big three. Do you put Ole Miss in the big four?
I would put Ole Miss over Alabama in the big four.
So
but
who's
I think
your big four then?
Alabama.
Oh, okay,
yeah.
Okay.
But LSU should be there, but how do they get there, right?
Yeah.
What is Garrett Nussmeier? Does the defense not suck? Is it not like the thing is LSU's defense, the offense is going to take a step back. The defense just doesn't have to be god awful.
Yeah.
Just be like mediocre, right? Just be like Oklahoma when Lincoln was there, except that one year when they couldn't stop anything.
Yeah.
Like that's all LSU needs to be, but how are they going to do that? Blake Baker's there. What is he going to do? How is he going to change things? Is Harold Perkins going to be what he was as a freshman? How do they use him? And what's the ask, right? Like what's the ask?
Yeah.
Is Garrett asked? Is he going to be asked to go lead an offense that rolls up 475 a game?
Right.
Like that's not good. But if he's not asked to do all that stuff, then LSU can be a national championship.
I mean, you've been doing this for a while. How wild is it? We're sitting here having this conversation, talking about LSU's defense. We feel good about the offense. Well, we're asking about the defense.
Well, there was that one year in the late 2000s when that 2-year stretch where LSU's offense was great and its defense sucked, and then it flipped the very next year.
Yeah, I think you were.
You were on those teams,
weren't you?
There was the
offense sucked that year.
There was the 08 year where we would have been. That's when Jarrett Lee kind of got thrust into the fire, and the offense was actually very productive. There were too many pick sixes,
yeah,
and the defense wasn't that good. And then probably the year you're thinking about though was right after my time. It was the second Mettenberger year where Met threw for 3,000. Both Juice and OBJ went for 1,000 each, and Jeremy Hill went for 1,000.
Right.
But they kept getting into these track meets, and the defense just couldn't stop anybody. That was
the good times.
Another cruel.
But, I mean,
twist
LSU
of
fans
fate.
hated me during that stretch because that was when I was like, "Yo, Les Miles really does suck."
Yeah.
Now you're throwing back to his party. T-Bob will throw that party with you.
Which one?
Les Miles.
I want to be clear. My view of coach is pretty nuanced here in that I think, ironically, the actual coaching of the football was his weakest portion. But we all know that being a head coach is more akin to being a CEO. And
Right.
I think he hired well. I think he hired very well. I think he recruited very well. I think he fundraised well. And even though his personality was very quirky and odd, I think for a very long time he managed relationships very well. So again, it's ironic because like the coaching football part was maybe the weakest part, but overall he was a very good coach. If he had just hired a guy to like do the clock or maybe like do
that
some
would
of
be
these other
helpful. That would have been
decisions,
very helpful.
Then things could have been even better potentially. But yeah, I'm not. I don't think. My Coach Miles is a little nuanced.
Better clock manager, Mario Cristobal or Les Miles?
I would still give Les. I mean,
I would give Les too.
Mario's a master class of how to screw it up.
That just
that's really bad.
Like because
It's really
in
bad.
today's college football, with all the analysts and all the different things, you have no excuse.
Yeah.
You've got to have somebody.
This is not just true for football. Every organization should have a VP of common sense.
Yes.
That doesn't say anything.
Well,
doesn't say anything.
I bet Florida probably tries with all the blue polos they have in their team picture.
That is
it
true.
Just didn't work.
Yeah, the guy sucks.
So people keep talking about. I feel like it's so funny how in this business takes rubber band back and forth. But one of the latest ones seems to be Florida gaining a little momentum. But my follow-up question is always, but what does that actually look like? And then they're like 7-5, which again I do understand given the schedule. But how mighty the fall, how far the mighty have fallen. If we're saying that, the Gators could actually be pretty good this year, they might go 7-5.
Okay, yeah, but not all 7-5s look the same.
I agree.
Right?
They
Not all
have the
7-5s
hardest
look the
schedule
same.
in the country.
By far.
Yes.
And so, I think the biggest thing is, okay, so what does it look like, right? Does the offensive line do enough to let that ground game cook?
Yeah.
At least enough. Does any wide receiver, come back and do what Pearsall does? If you just show incremental progress, just incremental progress, just organizationally, like not have a meltdown like they had at Utah.
Now there are 2 number 3s on the field.
That would be helpful, yes. Just show that.
Yeah.
And I think they'll be and being tough. Like they weren't tough last year. And then Billy went out there and hired some just mean dudes on their coaching staff. So just change your identity to be at least competitive and at least make it tough to beat them.
Who do we think is best suited to maybe take advantage of a couple of the major changes in terms of helmet communication, having as many coaches as you want to coach your practice and game day, and being able to have a tablet where you can kind of review everything on the sideline? Have you ever even thought about that? Do you think that there's a coach that's maybe better suited to
Kirby,
yeah. I think Lane too. Because Lane can take a tablet and be like, "This is how you screwed up.
Yeah,
don't do it again."
Yeah. And he's been an NFL coach, so he's had those things. Yeah, I mean, it didn't go well in Oakland, but he
knows how to use it. Yeah, I think Kirby's interesting too because they do have like a small village of analysts and I think that's more of an NFL sort of organization anyway.
Yeah,
and so having that ability, I think
Kirby's been in the NFL a short time, but he was there.
He's there, right?
Last one here, Barrett. Do you think is Georgia the runaway national championship favorite?
I mean, I think Ohio State could be there if they don't start Will Howard. because, I mean, Will Howard lost his job to Avery Johnson at Kansas State. If they start somebody else, doesn't matter, any of those other 3 quarterbacks. But Ohio State, from a talent standpoint, is just –
that's a pretty heated that's a pretty warm, like a bordering hot take there. Is that any quarterback but Will Howard, then you think Ohio State's better?
Correct. Doesn't
Aaron Nolan, Julian Sayin.
Yeah. Aaron Nolan, Julian Sayin, Devin Brown, like Quinshon Judkins, like I don't care, like anybody.
They're going to run the football so much,
yes,
though.
Yes, they are.
With Henderson and Judkins.
Yes, they are. Texas. I think Texas is good enough to win the national championship.
I think Texas secondary sucks. I think Ohio State's O-line is problematic. I think the only thing for Georgia where it feels like it's maybe a relative weakness is the weapons. But even last year I felt that, and Carson Beck still put up great numbers. Now, it did hurt him in the biggest moments, but still.
I want to ask Barrett, before we let him go, I want to ask him about Missouri, though. And we talked a little bit about Eli Drinkwitz. I think the demise of Missouri football falling back to who they were is greatly overstated.
Okay.
I think Brady Cook and Luther Burden. I like Marcus Carroll coming over from Georgia State. I'm sure you got a chance to see there being in Atlanta. I think they added some really nice pieces. Kirby's still calling the plays. Defensively, sure, the entire staff's gone, but I think Missouri's going to be kind of what they were a year ago. Does it equal the same amount of wins? Maybe it doesn't, but I still think they're going to be a good football team.
I think they'll be decent, but Cody Schrader was so good.
Yeah, I mean, he ran outside zone like clinic tape.
Yeah, and so, they've got 2 transfers. Sure, you can put it together and just take a little pressure off of Burden, take a little pressure off of Brady Cook. But I don't see them being a 10-win team, a team that is competitive week in, week out. I
like
can't.
your schedule, though.
I do like their schedule.
Yeah.
That is helpful.
Ole Miss got very favorable
Yes, they did.
schedules.
And Arkansas kind of too, which is weird because usually the SEC schedule makers hate Arkansas.
Hate Arkansas.
But, I mean, I think I like Missouri, but I don't know if Eli can sustain success. And I guess that's it. Can they sustain success? Eli hasn't had a chance to do that yet.
Yeah.
So until he shows that he can, I'm still going to sort of have some doubts. But I mean, if they can find anywhere close to the production Cody Schrader had, whether it's 1 dude or 2, they're going to be pretty good.
All right, Barrett Sallee from Smothered and Covered. Thank you so much, brother, and we will see you all week long.
Yeah, and I'm going to have EA Sports next to me. John Neighbors is right
Both
next to me.
one controller, apparently.
No, I'll invest in another one. I mean, I'll go get it.
Yes.
All right, when we get back, more off the bench should be, fingers crossed, getting Brian Kelly sometime soon here, so keep it locked. We'll see more off the bench next.
Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob.
Go to allstartoyotabatonrouge.com, allstartoyotabatonrouge.com. The read's so nice, we do it twice. You need a new vehicle. Maybe you need like a Toyota certified used vehicle. Maybe you're just looking to rent. Look, whatever the case may be, All-Star is there for you, and they have the answer. They have an incredible selection over there, right there on site. Or you can always custom order, right? I mean, and so it ended up with the 2 murdered out minivans. I said, hey, guys, look, I know I got to go minivan. I got a lot of kids, but make me feel a little better about it. Can we just go black, everything? And they did it, man. So that's there for you at All-Star. So whether you're looking for like a Tundra, Sequoia, Tacoma, Camry, whatever, go to All-Star Toyota Baton Rouge. Remember the service center, the body shop, second to none. All makes and models welcome. All-Star Toyota Baton Rouge, allstartoyotabatonrouge.com.
In times of need, get a full list of phone numbers, websites, and other important emergency information on the Demco Stormwatch page at 1045ESPN.com.
When it comes to ending cancer, we push forward, always working together for you. That's why our cancer experts at Ochsner have clinically integrated with MD Anderson Cancer Center. This means advanced cancer care, including access to life-saving clinical trials and integrating care to treat the whole you. Introducing Ochsner MD Anderson Cancer Center. Long live you.
Bayou Ford has $10,000 off F-150. $10,000 off the new 2024 Ford F-150. And all new Bayou Ford vehicles come with a 7-year, 100,000-mile warranty. The crew at Bayou Ford is going to do right by you.
Performing is a way of life for us. It's not something we get up in the morning and dread going do. It's just something we go to bed at night looking forward to getting up to go do. John Deere equipment is what we as farmers strive to have. It's in your blood, it's in your veins. It's just a part of who you are. Green is what we want to be in. The other tractors were acquired to patch it up to get to where you want to be. Where we want to be is in John Deere. Flip the switch and learn more about what it means to be powered by sunshine at sunequip.com.
I've been doing business with Luber for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Breck teamed up to reimagine your parks, and you imagined big. With your help, we went to work creating 12 beautiful community parks across the parish. A family-sized water park, miles and miles of trails, and parks just for your dogs. There are more places to splash, to explore, to run wild, and even soar. You imagined, we delivered. Gold. Breck, your #1 park system in the nation.
At Relief Windows, we're more than windows. We're windows, doors, party plank, and vinyl siding. But our #1 product is always customer satisfaction. Visit us online.
Join me for a Monday edition of the Hunt Palmer Show presented by Gulf Coast Office Products. I'll be in Baton Rouge. SEC Media Day is ongoing. LSU takes their turn at the podium. And the MLB Draft ongoing. We'll react to it all on the Hunt Palmer Show. 1 to 3 weekdays, 104.5 ESPN, Baton Rouge.
Baby, I like your stuff.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria, and 1130 The Tiger.
What's up, y'all? Welcome back to OTB. All right, look, so here's the deal. We're only going to go like a minute here because we got Brian Kelly. He's on SEC Network with Doran and Company right now. Apparently, Doran was asking if I knew how to hula hoop on air.
Yeah, I think they were talking about hula hoop, and then they started talking about people in the room that he felt like could have that skill set, and I agree with him. I think you can hula hoop.
So
your hips tell a great story.
Okay, but what the insane part about this is hula hooping is actually my biggest weakness.
Oh.
Not only can I not hula hoop, I cannot even keep it going
it's
for
your
a
Steph
second.
Curry to be able
to spin a ball in the finger. 100%.
Oh my, T-Bob.
100%.
Of all the people in this room,
I know.
male or female, I would have said I'll put my paycheck this week on T-Bob Hebert being able to hula hoop.
I know, because I got greasy hips, but
You
I can't.
You
All
do.
right, we got to go to break. When we get back, Brian Kelly, keep it locked. OTB.
Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob.
Okay, all right.
I talked about that. I think this should be the best timing. We'll see.
All right.
All right. Do want to remind you guys, centralplumbing.org, 925-8552. Look, Central Plumbing's been doing it for 50 years. You need somebody who's going to be able to solve all of your problems, no questions asked. Flat rate pricing, great warranty work once it's done. Of course, everybody's licensed, bonded, and insured. You want to go to centralplumbing.org. Once again, that is centralplumbing.org. Shout out the Payne family.
Remember, not only in Central, I mean, if you're in the Baton Rouge area, they can help you as well, and they can help you in an emergency, but also they can help you if you're looking to upgrade at your home or your business. No matter how big the job is, they can come in and get that done. So if you want to go tankless with tankless water heater, new shower, new vanity, whatever, they have got you covered. Call them today at 225-925-8552.
Get the 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge app powered by Bayou Ford and tap the microphone icon to send us your thoughts in an audio message. Your message could be played on air during Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob, The Hunt Palmer Show, and after further review with Matt Musco.
Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram is taking $20,000 off new 23 Ram 1500 trucks. We're open for business in our beautiful new showroom and taking $20,000 off the powerful Ram truck. All new Bayou vehicles come with a 7-year, 100,000-mile warranty. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
Electricity is all around us, and our families depend on it. Every day is sparked by the power of a cold drink or a warm meal, a movie night, and a comforting light at the end of a dark hallway. From sunrise to sunset, playtime to bedtime, our team is ready to take care of your electrical needs. Even in the case of an after-hours emergency, the light in your life shines brighter with Mr. Electric.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
The best kept secret in town is out. Discover Tallulah at the Renaissance Hotel on Bluebonnet.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona. For years, you've heard me tell you about Insurance Network of Louisiana, helping you find better coverage for less money. But it's not just for your home and auto. They also offer commercial property. So, retail stores, professional offices like doctors, dentists, attorneys, clothing boutiques. Insurance Network of Louisiana can find you better coverage for less money. They service the entire state of Louisiana, and they're local. So call today at 293-0450 or lainsurance.net.
The best kept secret in town is out. Discover Tallulah at the Renaissance Hotel on Bluebonnet.
Elevate brand visibility, ignite customer engagement with the power of radio and digital advertising combined. Guarantee Digital Media brings the two together as a trusted media partner in Louisiana for nearly a century. Claim your free digital audit at guaranteemedia.com.
At Relief Windows, we're more than windows. We're windows, doors, party plank, and vinyl siding. But our number one product is always customer satisfaction. Visit us online at reliefwindows.com.
Jerry and Benny Payne began Central Plumbing Company out of their driveway in Tanglewood subdivision. 50 years later and 4 generations down the road, we continue to serve Baton Rouge and the surrounding areas for all of their plumbing needs. Residential, commercial, industrial, or hospitality, Central Plumbing is here 24/7, 365.
We want to thank our customers and families.
Matt Moscona inviting you to join us for Monday's AFR, presented by Relief Windows, live from Radio Row at SEC Football Media Days, and it's LSU Day. We'll hear from the Tigers. Join us 3 to 6, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria, and 1130 The Tiger.
Welcome back, OTB. We're here, going to be wrapping up hour number 2. Hoping to get Brian Kelly.
If he comes during the hard break.
He is shaking hands with the SC Network right now. It looks like they're going to go to break. We'll hustle him over here. I mean, this kind of sucks. We're still only going to get like 5 minutes with him at most. Anyway, is there any way, Alondra Taylor, okay, he's got a minute after he walks over there. Is there any way for us to extend beyond the hard break?
Bueller.
No.
Oh, my gosh.
Wow.
Well, this is...
Go south. Look at T-Bob all dressed up like a big boy. The suit top question is, though, he's wearing shorts with it. I'm actually not wearing shorts.
He is suited and booted.
I'm actually not wearing shorts with it. What's that, Alondra?
No, never mind. My mic was on accident.
Yeah, we're going to get like, he's talking to people now. This is not good. This is the worst timing that it possibly could be.
It ain't had him.
Yeah. There has to be a way. We're sitting here trying to talk it out. Anyways, hopefully we'll get Brian Kelly here in about
How did we used to do this, though, dude? Because Jordy used to always just, like, put Rivers and them in terrible situations by being like, no, just, like, extend. And we had a big guest on, and we would do it.
So I know at the end of the last hour, we don't have, We don't have a spot, so maybe we can change these things up.
Hey, there he is, Coach Kelly. What's going on?
It's
All right,
okay.
let's
We're
go
gonna
to get him in here.
We're gonna
get him in for a quick
We're
five.
We're gonna get him in. We are on air. We're gonna have him NASCAR change on air. What's up, Coach?
Coach,
what's
going on,
Wanna
brother?
have
Come
you
on,
sit
come
with
take a
us?
seat. Come sit between us. And here's your headphones. You can put these on. I wouldn't presume to put them on your head for you. I don't want to mess up your hair.
Looking sharp.
Great.
Like the.
There we go. Yes, sir. We got
What's
you.
up, Coach? Looking good. Glad to have you.
Appreciate it. Good to be with you guys.
Yeah.
How's it feel to be the master of ceremonies, kicking everything off?
I love it. I love it. You know, it's kind of, take 2 strikes, hit to right, get it on base and let the big guys drive it in and let them be the news stories.
Yeah.
I'm going to get in and get out, and I'll see you guys at the lake.
I mean, hey, you got the tan going on. Have you been at the lake? You're looking good.
So we had a family trip
that
was planned for a couple of years. It kept getting pushed off.
Yeah.
We went to the British Virgin Islands.
Okay, sounds
and
great.
it's one place that, you're on a boat for a week.
Yeah.
If you put a shirt on the whole time, you're a loser.
Thank you.
So
yes, exactly.
You got to have
sun's out, guns out.
You
guys out, thighs out.
And look, I'm not, somebody that paparazzi's around. So I figure I could take my shirt off and there wouldn't be any pictures floating around with this Atlas body of mine.
That's right.
There wasn't like maybe a shark on the boat. You didn't perhaps get completely nude with a shark or anything.
Oh, no.
We did. Okay.
That will not be floating around.
Hey, Coach, so look, I thought a really interesting group of players here that you're bringing to bear here at SEC Media Days, year number 3. Obviously, anytime you're in a situation of bringing the quarterback, I think that's kind of ideal, right? You have just one of the most talented players in the entire country in Harold Perkins, and then Mason Taylor at the tight end position. And, we're sitting like this Will Campbell out there. How did you arrive at the guys that you're bringing to Media Days this week?
Well, our best leader is home, and that's Will Campbell. But I think everybody knows Will Campbell.
Yeah.
Will's going to be a top 10 draft pick.
Yep.
He's the best player in college football.
He's one of, if not the best player in college football. I don't know that he needs this. And he's going to continue to do what he does every single day. He's just built that way. I felt like, getting our starting quarterback in front of the media, because he's going to have to carry the load during the year, and it's LSU, and it's a heavy load. I thought this would be a good runoff for him. Mason Taylor has been overshadowed by 3 number 1 draft picks. And it's hard to get out, and he's finally out from that shadow because he is a top-notch football player, and I thought this would be a great opportunity for him to really get himself out in front, because I think so highly of him as a football player. So get his name out here, let him talk to the media, because he's going to be a great NFL player. And I've had a lot of tight ends playing the NFL that currently, and I think he's one of them. And then, of course, Harold Perkins. This is a great opportunity for us to see the man that is outside the jersey. We see the guy that's in the jersey.
That's all we know him as,
and
really.
the way he plays. Let's see him outside that jersey, because he's a 3.65 GPA.
What?
He is, yes.
I never knew
He's
that.
one of our top students, one of our top student athletes. He is bright. He's got a great sense of humor. And I just feel like these are the opportunities to get to know these guys outside of the realm of football. They have identities that are not just about football. So that was really how I got to it, and I think that's a great question.
Yeah.
How great to have Garrett Nussmeier here, though, because he's a unicorn. Quarterbacks do not wait around for their turn anymore. Certainly ones as talented as Garrett Nussmeier. And also, when he's played really well. Those guys, they go somewhere else now. But he waits his turn behind some really good quarterbacks, the Heisman Trophy winner. It's now his turn, his team, and to have him here, how cool is that?
It really is a great story as we've watched this kind of develop over, the last couple of years. And look, I would say a lot of it has to do with coming up in a football family. Certainly his dad being in the business has shown him, what it's like to be patient and get the right opportunity. And look, it's not about, getting to that next location. It's about being in the right place.
Yeah.
And I think he felt like he was in the right place, and he just needed to wait for his chance. Now he's got 2 years of eligibility. He's got a football team that has been building and building, and now he's got the controls to this offense. So it's been fun to watch, and he's been leading in a fabulous manner.
Coach, if there's one thing that I've always been a fan of, right, it's these really massive stakes opening games. Now, for LSU here recently, the result hasn't been exactly what you wanted, right? And one of the most fascinating parts has been on the other side of these games, there's been some wholesale changes made that have paid huge dividends. And I've always given you all a lot of credit for avoiding, like, sunken cost fallacy and saying, no, look, I know we got to mix things up. What have you changed in terms of your process that you're always refining when it comes to preparing for this week 1 matchup and getting ready during camp to maybe have a clear picture of what you have here in week 1?
Yeah, I think each year is different, to be quite honest with you. You know, we're in year 3 now. Year 1, like, you know, we didn't know who our quarterback was. You know, he was trying to find himself.
Right.
You know, the defense was, you know, certainly putting together guys. We lose our best player in the first series. And we saw the grit and determination in year 1, right?
Yeah.
We came back. We end up winning the SEC. Even though we lost that game, we win the West. Yeah. The second year, we really found out that we had holes on defense.
Yeah.
And so as we go into year 3, I think we have a better understanding of our football team, right? We have to be more balanced on both sides of the ball. This can't be a offense-driven program and have the kind of success that we want to have. So after this year, it's been about how do we get this defense up to the capabilities that it needs to play at. So when you go into this game, you feel like, you know, going into year 3, this is about, you know, accountability, responsibility from staff all the way down to players, that now we're going to put a product on the field in year 3 that is much more balanced.
Yeah, Coach, I mean, we could spend a lot of time with you. I know you got to go, but real quick, we got about 30 seconds left. The deep in the staff.
We can go a little bit longer.
We can go a little bit longer. The deep in the staff, we had Blake on the show. Love Blake Baker. It feels like everybody just got back to where they were when they left LSU. Blake and Corey Raymond, Bo Davis being a former player here. It feels like that has been a fast transition for that staff.
I think they have. I think they've transitioned very well. Certainly, you know, the most important thing for us was the recruiting and the player development piece. And then, look, I think we all know about defense in a sense that, you know, kids want to be coached and they want to be able to play with a connection to their coordinator. And we needed that. Yeah. And they really enjoy playing for Blake. And they love playing for Bo and Corey. So, you know, and Jake as well. I mean, they all have connections with their players. And I think, you know, when we look at defense, and you can talk about schemes all you want, it's really about that connection with the players. And that's what we've been able to see early on through the spring, that there's a real solid connection. Now they got to go play, okay?
Yeah.
And they've got to be able to move on from last year where they were gaining experience to now. They got to go make some plays this year, and that will be the expectation.
Is there a position group? Because when you look at the team, it's kind of like there's a lot of question marks, but you like a lot of the talent that you're throwing at the wall. Is there a position group that has surprised you this offseason in terms of you're like, okay, this group is really impressing me?
I think the area where everybody is, you know, obviously concerned is the defensive line.
Yes.
Right? But I'm going to tell you that we have got a blend of players there that are either second-year players that are going to make their mark. We have a couple of transfers that are going to impact and help us, and we have some freshmen, true freshmen. And the 3 groups together will impact what we do defensively. And I think, you know, guys like Deshaun Womack, you know, have had a great offseason. Expect him to play at a high level. I think you're going to look at a guy like Guillory, who's going to come in and eat up a lot of plays for us and play really well at the shade. Savion is going to play really well for us, playing more of a 4 technique.
Okay.
So guys like that have been around but now are going to get that opportunity. And then you're going to see some freshmen. Gabe Relaford,
Yeah.
McKinley.
Yep.
These guys are going to be able to come in and play for us. Javion Suggs, a transfer. Gio Paez. These guys are going to be able to come in and play as well. So there's 3 levels of players that are all going to impact at different levels for us defensively.
Was it kind of nice bringing in a Grand Valley State guy?
You know, we weren't necessarily looking, but when it came down to what made sense for us in terms of what we were looking for, it just worked. And there was some, we were familiar. My son transferred from Grand Valley as well, and they were really, they were best buddies.
Oh, no way.
And so we had the character reference.
Yeah, probably got a real assessment of the player.
We had a real assessment of a kid that wanted this opportunity, and Bo loves him. You know, he'll do anything for this opportunity in which he was given. So we got the right fit there, and so it's worked out really well.
Hey, last one for me, Coach. You talk about freshmen being able to play, like, 10 years ago when T-Bob was playing, when I was playing, when you were, coaching 10 years ago, that was kind of unheard of. And you'd say that, but just like, can a freshman really help us? I feel like freshmen are so much more ready to play now than they've ever been before. Is that because they're early enrollees? Is that just because where we're at in college football? Because it does feel like they have a better opportunity than we did when we were playing.
I think it's all of that. I think it's high school NIL. I think it's 3 years and I'm done. Yeah. It's no longer 4 or 5 years.
Redshirting's something that doesn't happen really.
No, it's I'm going to play.
It's crazy.
I think that's part of it, and I think the mid-year enrollment. I think if you add up all those 3 things, there is a sense of responsibility that they feel that when they come in. I've got freshmen telling other guys that have been playing here, you better watch out. I'm going to take your job.
Wow.
And you know how that is as an upperclassman.
Yes, exactly.
You go like that sometimes starts a fight at the rack.
Yeah.
You know,
Absolutely.
Which is okay if it's done the right way.
Good.
It's right.
You want a little bit.
You want a little bit, but you got to back it up too, right?
Right. Yeah.
But that kind of I think. Bravado, as long as it's backed up the right way, is what you're looking for within your program. Because I love when the young guys are pushing the veterans.
Absolutely.
Because that is a good mix within your program, and we're getting a little bit
I
of
swear,
that.
we signed a 5-star running back every year that I was a starting running back.
Yeah,
Can we not sign one of those guys this offseason, please?
Can't be complacent. Coach Kelly, cannot thank you enough, man. I know this is going to be a crazy day for you doing this all day.
This is good
Thank
to
you
be
so
with
much
you
for
guys.
stopping by.
Appreciate it,
Thank you for
Coach.
leading off. Thank you, Alondra and Taylor, for making it happen the hard break there. More OTB coming up next.
Nope, keep it here.
Thank you,
Keep it
Coach.
here.
All right, y'all. Hey, I do want to remind you, get Gordon, get it done. Get Gordon and get it done today. 225-888-8888. Gordon McKernan Injury Attorneys is there for when you need them. You get in an accident, you need somebody who's going to stand up to the big insurance company, somebody who's going to fight for you. That's Gordon McKernan Injury Attorneys. And you can go to getgordon.com. You can actually fill out a consult form right there. They'll get in touch with you immediately. You can see past results from satisfied clients. You can see all the different plethora of cases that they cover. They're the best, man. And as always, a lot of your favorite athletes, a lot of these players, football, baseball, whatever, members of the G team, well, that's Gordon as well. So get Gordon, get it done today. 225-888-8888.
Keep it here, please.
Keep it here the whole time? We just blow through it?
Yes, please.
Okay, great. Yeah, hell yeah. Jim, you want to come on? Jim Nagy, Executive Director of the Senior Bowl, one of our good friends, always hooking us up, a man who grinds more tape than probably anybody in the business. I mean, I woke up and I'm like prepping for the show. I think it might have been around 5:30 this morning. And Jim's already up and tweeting Garrett Nussmeier clips. Let's go, dude.
I can't believe you're having me on after Brian Kelly. Like, that's not,
that's how it
that's
should
the lead
be,
in,
man.
what a letdown for all your listeners.
Big lead in,
He's
dude.
the starting pitcher.
Way,
he just gave us 8 strong. We need a closer.
No way, dude. Hey, so how about okay, so tell me So why were you watching Nuss yesterday? And give us a little scout. What you see from his bowl game?
Well, one, because I'm going to meet him today.
Okay, perfect. Yeah,
I'm going to meet him here in a little bit.
A little prep.
I want to be able to talk football with him a little bit. No, I've seen him. I went to their first practice last year to meet Jaden and watch those guys, watch Neighbors and all those guys. And the arm talent was obvious. Anyone that's seen the guy throw knows he can throw, but what's he going to look like with 21 other guys on the field? I didn't know that. So I just watched the bowl game last night. And to that post, I mean, there's a lot of really good stuff, man. Decision-making, quick eyes, feel in the pocket. I mean, he can rip it for sure. So it looks like you got a guy, which is awesome news. When
you're watching film, because I always said with Nussmeier, in terms of that game, like, the overall stats are great. There's like 395, however many touchdowns. But I'm more cared about what I saw situationally in, like, being down 14, right? And then needing to go 94 yards with 6 minutes left to win, knowing it's probably going to be the last chance you get with the ball. How much as a scout, when you're evaluating players, do you take in the context of the situation when these plays are made?
You could be a scout, T-Bob. I mean, that's all they're looking at. I tell people all the time, at the college level, when you're watching these college quarterbacks, you could probably throw away 85% of the throws.
Interesting.
I mean, you're looking at chaos in the pocket and tight window throws. Because that's NFL football, as you guys know. I mean, this standing back there and patting the ball and having every day to scan the field all day long, like that's not the NFL. So you look at those, then you look at situation, you look at third and longs, you look at those 2-minute situations where you got to move the team. That's exactly what teams are looking at.
I'm sure you noticed the LSU offensive line while you were watching some of that Garrett Nussmeier tape. You already knew about him as well. I mean, that's going to be such a strength for LSU. And I personally think, and it has nothing to do with me playing in LSU, I think Will Campbell's the best overall football player that we have in the country. I mean, that helps a new starting quarterback feel at ease when he's back there behind that, offensive line.
No question. He and Jones, and then, Dellinger and Miles Frazier.
Yeah. And then there's a lot of hype on that DJ Chester kid, the new center.
We had Charles Turner in the Senior Bowl last year.
And he was great.
And Charles is a good player. I actually saw him up in New England when I was up there for Tom Brady's Hall of Fame thing, and Charles can make that. Charles can make that team. If they're gonna do it, man.
I agree, dude. Hell yeah,
they're going to bring it wasn't they brought up anyone that worked for the organization. I mean, the Patriots do that thing right. But yeah, I mean, that's a great place to start. You got 4 returning offensive linemen and 4 good returning offense. It's not like just some guys that have some starts. Those guys
crazy.
Those guys are legit players.
I've never. So who with the Senior Bowl right now, this portion of the calendar year, are you kind of? I'm sure you have like a giant. I picture like a giant board with faces all over it. And is this where you're starting to whittle down? Like you'll start to whittle down as the season goes on?
Yes, that's exactly what it is. So we're watching all the summer tape. I got a ton of catch up to do. Our staff's done a great job of setting the board. We've got like 700 names on the board right now, which sounds ridiculous when there's only like 258 picks in last year's draft.
How many get invited to the Senior Bowl?
About 130.
Damn.
So yeah, it's obviously a process. We grade glass half full this time of year.
Yeah.
You would much rather, like organizationally in the NFL, like they're trying to push guys down the board, not raise them up.
Yeah.
So let's grade them high and then work it. But this is a huge class because it's the last year of the extra COVID year. So after this year, like we're gonna be putting out our watch list on August 21st. That's a big day for us. It gets us a ton of traction on social media. But that number is going to be over 700. I don't like it that big. I like it more like 400. I never like filling players with like false hope they're going to get drafted or play in the Senior Bowl. It's going to be a really bloated number this year because of that COVID thing.
How cool is it for you? Because we love going to the Senior Bowl every year. It's something that we look forward to. But the thing I love the most is to see a Quinyon Mitchell from Toledo go out there and solidify himself as a first-round pick. I think there's multiple players. I think Ricky Pearsall solidified himself. He wasn't a first-round pick before he got to Mobile.
No.
I don't think Ladd McConkey was a second-round pick before he got to Mobile. But they went out there. They could not be denied. That's just 3 examples. How gratifying is that for you to know that you and your staff, they go out there, they do the work, they bring them down to Mobile, and also, like, you help them change their lives and show what kind of football players they can be?
Well, I mean, it's pretty cool, but it's more about them, right? It's more about them. They took advantage of the opportunity. Just happy for those guys. I know how hard you guys worked when you were players, man. Like, I don't know how much if fans. I know they appreciate what players put into it, but you guys, I mean, it's so much work. So yeah, it was cool. We had 10 first-round picks this year. It's the best number we've had in a while.
Wow.
45 of the top 100 players, and Quinion is a guy that, he went. What did he go, like 22 overall to Philly?
Yeah.
But the first defensive player wasn't even drafted until 15. Leatu
Yeah.
Latu. I mean,
And he was at the game.
The first
And he was
14,
at the
yeah,
game,
and he was
too.
at the game. But the first 14 guys were offense. So the biggest thing for Quinion was he was the first corner taken. He was taken over Terrion Arnold from Alabama. So that's crazy. A Toledo guy got drafted over an Alabama guy.
And Latu blew me away that week. I mean, just talking with him, I mean, he didn't have a lot that he had to prove, but the fact that he showed up and competed, like, that's the kind of people y'all get down at the game. And I mean, he was like, once he found out that I played, he's over there like asking me questions like, hey, like, these meetings and what should I do? I'm like, man, you're going to be fine. You're going to be your first round pick. But he wanted to compete. He wanted to be the best player that he possibly could be in that moment. And I think last year's class was incredible.
Well, it's him. It's Latu and Taliese Fuaga, who the Saints picked.
Yeah. We talked a lot about him
with their first
on
pick.
the show.
Both those guys.
Yeah.
I had conversations with both those guys the first day on the practice field. And it was basically, the bottom line was, I didn't have to be here. Like, people were telling me not to come do this and put my body on the line. But they both said nothing was going to keep us. And in Latu's place, I mean, this guy was medically disqualified from playing football at Washington.
Craziest story ever.
Like, he had football ripped away from him. That's what he said. He's like, Jim, I've had football taken away.
Yeah.
You're giving me a chance to compete against the best players in the draft. I'm going to do it.
Yeah.
So no, those guys, I'm indebted to those guys. Guys that didn't really, truly, quote unquote, need the game to be first rounders, and they still came and competed.
Yeah, Shane got a hell of a player there, man. He's going to play for a long time.
And look, I mean, we're going to see Fuanga from week 1 starting at left tackle for the New Orleans Saints. So we're going to see.
We need Trevor Penning, though. We need Trevor Penning to just step up a little bit.
So I know
he's at the game.
I was down here at this O-line masterminds thing the last couple of days, this big offensive line camp, and Trevor was there.
Okay, hell yeah.
And we talked about it, and it's been injury stuff. And I told him, like, man, I hope you haven't lost your confidence. As you guys both know, confidence. Confidence plays such a huge key, and I'm like,
freaky when you lose it.
God, he was so confident in Senior Bowl week.
I'm like, Trevor, you are just don't lose sight of how good you are, man. Like, he is super talented guy. Now I'm just worried they're moving Fuaga from right to left and Penning from left to right.
I know, dude. I know.
And I'm like, man, is this gonna work?
It seems odd to me as well, dude.
But if Trevor clicks, man, they got two just complete bullies at the tackle. But they are both so physical and nasty. Like, if it clicks for both of them, that'll be really fun to watch.
I almost hate to do this, given that we have so many LSU fans that listen to the show. But I'd be remiss if I didn't ask about Kalen DeBoer, just given that I'm sure y'all have a lot of interaction with him being in Alabama, and I remember seeing him at the Senior Bowl and whatnot. But it seems like he's kind of got that machine still cranking. I mean, recruiting's doing great. What's it been like, though, interacting with him as the Alabama head coach, as that entire state really feels like you basically have a new governor, a new president, or somebody being elected?
Yeah, it's very different. and I'll share a story from our Hall of Fame weekend. Jacob was down there doing some serious radio stuff, NFL radio, and the producer asked me, like, hey, Jim, can you help me grab a couple guys? It's at this pre-party before our charity golf event. And I was like, how about Kalen DeBoer? And he was like, well, can you get him? I'm like, yeah, hold on. I walk over there. I'm like, hey, Kalen, NFL Sirius Radio's over there. Can you do it? He's like, yeah, give me a couple of minutes. I'll be right over. And I was thinking, I would have never done that with the old Alabama head coach. So it's a new day. But now Kalen's going to be great. I don't know him very well. I really spent the most time with him there at our event. Yeah. And I don't follow recruiting all that much, but it seems like he's killing it right now.
I'll tell you this. So I was assigned to Washington for the semifinal and final. Like, that was my team that I was with for Sirius XM. And so I spent a lot of time with him. The best thing that I can say is he still is the same guy that he was at Washington when I talked to him the other day as the Alabama head coach. And I think for him, that's who he has to be. He's a winner. He knows what he's doing, and he's not going to make this job something so big that he can't handle it.
I hate to ask you something very specific, but do you have like an SEC player, maybe a group of players, a couple guys, just a name that you think maybe us as the average viewer isn't fully in tune with, that you think's gonna kind of have a big year or maybe surprise us by year's end?
I would say Ulysses Bentley, the running back from Ole Miss.
Really?
So he's a guy we offered last year. He got hurt in the bowl game. He was going to come out. He was Judkins' backup.
Yeah.
Quinshot Judkins' backup. Now Judkins is at Ohio State. So this guy should have a more prominent role. The reason we invited him last year, we dug back into his SMU tape where he was a starter. There's some dynamic stuff.
Really?
Yeah. There's teams in the NFL right now, based off conversations I've had, they have higher grades on Bentley than Judkins.
What?
And everyone thinks Judkins is, and he's a really good player.
Yeah, for
but
sure.
that's how good, that's how the NFL views Bentley. He's super explosive, so I would expect more touches now. So that would probably be the
there's probably a reason that Lane Kiffin and them, I mean, when Quinshon Judkins went to Ohio State, I mean, he had the tweet.
He just did he did the catch and release tweet.
He's like, I know what I got. Right? And then they get Parrish back to Ole Miss from Miami. I mean, they're going to have a good backfield.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Jim, thank you so much, man.
Whoa. We always end.
Oh, my bad.
Fullback.
Oh.
Have we scouted any fullbacks? Do we have any?
Yes. This is for you 5 listeners out there. Don't worry.
See, I just don't. T-Bob does not respect the fullback position. You do. Like,
I like history.
Do we have any? I know Michigan's got one.
Yeah, that's actually who I was going to say. There's a kid Mullings at Michigan. He was a linebacker. He went there as a linebacker. He's made the conversion. He can play running back and play fullback. Right now, that would
That's all I needed, Jim.
That would probably be the best. We might have a fullback.
I'll talk with him during Senior Bowl week. I'll get him all coached up.
Yeah, put your thumb on the scale for it. Executive Director Jim Nagy, Reese's Senior Bowl. Cannot thank you enough. You're always so great to us at all these events, giving us this time, information, everything. Jim, thank you so much.
Yeah,
man.
thanks, guys. Always love coming on.
All right, when we get back, let's talk to the CEO and president of the Peach Bowl, our guy Gary Stokan, coming up next here on OTB.
Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob.
Go to Pinnacle Exterior Construction, PECbuilt.com is the website, PECbuilt.com. If you need if you need anything, man, you need like an outdoor kitchen, outdoor living area, you want a pool, custom pool, a spec pool, they got your back. You want to put some turf in the backyard, so you don't have to deal with the grass anymore. Maybe like get the kids out there running around. Again, go look at the online gallery at PEC. All right, Pinnacle is usual, but PECbuilt.com. You're going to be blown away by the quality and the artistry of this work. You need any size, type of fence, bulkheads, pergolas, again, they have your back. Finally, pool maintenance, right? Let's say you already have a pool, you got to get ready for the summer, or you need year-round maintenance so you don't have to ever worry about it again. Once again, Pinnacle does it. It's Pinnacle Exterior Construction, PECbuilt.com.
Our listeners fire off their opinions on the jimsfirearms.net hotline at 499-1045. Keep listening for your next chance to shoot us your thoughts with the jimsfirearms.net hotline on 1045 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected. Supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
Breck teamed up to reimagine your parks, and you imagined big. With your help, we went to work, creating 12 beautiful community parks across the parish. A family-sized water park, miles and miles of trails, and parks just for your dogs. There are more places to splash, to explore, to run wild, and even soar. You imagined, we delivered. Gold. Brack, your #1 park system in the nation.
Electricity is all around us, and our families depend on it. Every day is sparked by the power of a cold drink or a warm meal, a movie night, and a comforting light at the end of a dark hallway. From sunrise to sunset, playtime to bedtime, our team is ready to take care of your electrical needs, even in the case of an after-hours emergency. The light in your life shines brighter with Mr. Electric.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona. For years, you've heard me tell you about Insurance Network of Louisiana, helping you find better coverage for less money. But it's not just for your home and auto. They also offer commercial property. So, retail stores, professional offices like doctors, dentists, attorneys, clothing boutiques. Insurance Network of Louisiana can find you better coverage for less money. They service the entire state of Louisiana, and they're local. So call.
Join me for a Monday edition of the Hunt Palmer Show presented by Gulf Coast Office Products. I'll be in Baton Rouge. SEC Media Day is ongoing. LSU takes their turn at the podium. And the MLB Draft ongoing. We'll react to it all on the Hunt Palmer Show. 1 to 3 weekdays, 104.5 ESPN, Baton Rouge.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria, and 1130 The Tiger.
What's going on, y'all? Welcome back to Off the Bench. We are live here at SEC Media Days 2024. And right now, we're with our guy, one of our favorite guests every single year. That's Gary Stokan, CEO, president of the Peach Bowl. Does so much good for college football, for the community, and has a hell of a Peach Bowl Classic to kick off this year. Gary, what's up, man? How we feeling? Oh, wait, I'm an idiot. There we go. Gary, what's up, man? How we
I feel
feeling?
like I'm at the right place. I'm on the bench where I sat and picked splinters out of my ass at NC State in basketball. Unlike you two who were stars at LSU, but it's great to be with you guys. Great way to start SEC Media Day.
I agree. I agree.
doubt.
It's very fun. You know, we always love having you on.
Love having you on.
Let's talk about this game, though. Georgia,
Yeah.
Clemson, man, two of the biggest brands in all of college football. I would actually, off the top of my head, undoubtedly, right? No game this year will feature more national championships between the two head coaches than this one will.
We're going to start with a quiz to see how smart
yes.
Early in the
I
morning.
just told Gary I'm a general studies major, so don't be intimidated, Jake.
What'd you graduate, Jake?
Kinesiology.
Athletes,
Whoa.
athletes.
You went general studies. At least I was committed.
No, I'm
He's
a Renaissance man. Thank you. See, Gary gets it. That's what I'm saying.
I mean, I did get into PT school, but I had other dreams I had to go live out.
Yeah,
first,
true.
He wasn't dreaming. He was sleeping all the time.
So what's the quiz?
So Clemson, Georgia.
Okay.
Top kickoff game in the country. That's top 15, two top 15 teams.
Okay.
4 of the 8 last national championships, Clemson and Georgia. Wow. Dabo Swinney and Kirby Smart, 2 of 3 coaches that have won national championships in the CFB era, in BCS era.
Yeah.
Who's the other one? There's only one
Still
other coach.
active.
Still active.
Mac Brown?
Oh, you cheated. Look,
no, I did not cheat. I did not cheat. This is a cheat sheet of Peach Bowl information.
LSU,
No.
That's what got into
This
the
is
finish
a
line.
cheat sheet of
You
Peach
got all
Bowl
the
information.
fraternities. You got all the poop
This
from
has
the
nothing to do
fraternity.
with no, dude. I'm telling you.
I should have taken that sheet from him.
General studies.
Wow.
No,
General studies.
He finds his way. And
I don't
he
even
cheated
see Mac
today.
Brown on this
He
paper.
could read. At least he could read.
I don't even
right?
see Mac Brown is not on this paper. Do not listen to Gary. That is a
No,
lie.
I mean, but the game a year ago between Louisville and Georgia Tech, it was a fantastic football game.
It was a good game.
By the way, so
Yeah.
I don't want to besmirch those two teams because it was a really good game. And both teams, Louisville ended up playing for the conference. Georgia Tech took Georgia to the wire. Good teams. But, this goes up a level. For the things that you're talking about, it's Dabo, Kirby, it's national champions. It's two teams that, we believe can make a 12-team playoff. Georgia, certainly. And then Clemson, they're kind of in that, purgatory of, okay, let's see what you're going to do now. We kind of know the stakes. And so, this game, and certainly where these two teams are located to where your stadium is located, I can't imagine a better situation.
You can
for
already
y'all.
feel
Well, we may
it.
say we may set a record. Our Ohio State Ohio State game against Georgia in the 23 semifinal. 79,000 people was an all-time record.
Oh, I was in the building. It was incredible.
So we may break that with these two teams. It's interesting. Both teams, great stories here. Not only the national championship coaches, but both teams have not used the portal very much.
No.
When you look at the
Clemson
rest
at all.
of the teams in the top 15, a lot of portal transfers.
Yeah.
But these two teams have stayed with developing players, recruiting players. Now, because of their history, like we just talked about, having 4 of the last 8 national champions, they were able to recruit very successfully. So, an interesting story there that teams that really haven't used the portal much playing.
And it's kind of two teams narratively, I think, coming in from a couple of different directions, whereas Kirby's obviously now established as, in the absence of Nick Saban, like the guy in all of college football. And it looked like Dabo was going to be that heir apparent for years, right? And now he seems to be trending the opposite direction. But nothing would change that quicker than if Clemson was to go pull this off here week one. I mean, all of a sudden, everything that everybody's been attacking Dabo becomes validation.
Well, the quarterback situation with Klubnik's going to be a real interesting story here. He's got to step up. This is year 2, 5-star quarterback, right? He's got 1 year underneath his belt, and so him stepping up is going to be really important for Clemson to win this game.
Outside of the game, I know that one of the things that y'all have always been so forward thinking on is charitable endeavors, being involved in the community, giving back. How do you leverage something like a giant, and if you could talk about like what you're actually doing charity-wise as well, but even like the process, how do you leverage something like a giant football game into creating revenue to go to these great causes?
Yeah, it's a great point. I appreciate you asking that. We were created in 1968 as the first bowl, 9th bowl overall, but the first bowl to give back for charity purposes.
Oh, wow.
And we've kept that as a part of our mission. We're the leading bowl in the country, giving $63 million to charity since 2002. By far, probably $20 million more than any other bowl in the country over that time frame. So it's very important to us. So what we did is with AFLAC, we created the kickoff game for a cause.
Yep.
And so through a myriad of things that we're doing, we are going to create money for the AFLAC Cancer and Blood Disorder Center.
Wow.
Which AFLAC gave $176 million to start in Atlanta. And we've given $22 million to the AFLAC Cancer and Blood Disorder Center.
Damn.
That has created now 14 trials in 5 different hospitals in 4 states to find cures to eradicate childhood cancer.
Wow.
And so it's very important to us. Now, for this game, we're going to do a 50-50 raffle, give the money to the AFLAC Cancer and Blood Disorder Center. AFLAC, through both coaches, both Dabo and Kirby, have gone to hospitals to visit kids with cancer, and the mascots are going to be in a challenge to raise money. So they'll raise at least $20,000 per school. And then we are going to sell T-shirts that were designed by AFLAC cancer kids, one Clemson, one Georgia. We're going to sell those shirts and give that money to the AFLAC Cancer and Blood Disorder Center. So we hope to raise somewhere, $200,000 to $300,000 through this game just to give back. And then in parallel, the Peach Bowl, we do a Peach Bowl touchdown for children's. So any touchdown that's scored by your team, you guys could log on for LSU, and every touchdown LSU scores that you donate money to, whether $5, $10, $15, $100, whatever, we're going to match.
You match.
Oh, wow.
Oh,
Last year we raised $730,000 and gave that to the AFLAC Cancer and Blood Disorder Center.
I mean, if you bet on LSU touchdowns last year, it's a big number. Now giving up touchdowns, that's a whole different conversation.
Now, in terms of maybe this game, we'll see if these two offenses can do a bit better than last time we saw them in this game. That thing,
that thing scored the touchdown.
That thing was a defensive battle. And to show you how times change, I mean, that was before we even knew about Stetson Bennett, right?
Right.
That was before the rise of Bennett. That was JT Daniels, maybe versus Uiagalelei, potentially. Wild
Both transfer
stuff.
quarterbacks.
Yeah.
And even Stetson was a transfer.
Technically, yeah, because he left and came back.
Yeah.
I mean, what are y'all expecting, like, outside the stadium? I know it's an early kick, but still, like, SEC teams and certainly Clemson has that kind of feel to it. I'm going to assume it's going to be a nice little tailgate before the game as well.
Well, we do a couple things. I'm glad you asked for the fans. One is that we have a fan fest that's right outside the Georgia Dome, the Mercedes-Benz Stadium.
Habits.
Yeah, Mercedes-Benz Stadium, and it's all kind of sponsor activities, all kind of opportunities for fans to start to get involved in the game. But then we do a team walk. We actually have the two teams get out of buses and do walks into the stadium. And, I can't even imagine how many Clemson and Georgia people will be out there.
Like I said, it's going to be the two fan bases that can come to that game, like, as far as
bro,
where
they're
they're
right
located
there. I remember driving I remember driving to Clemson for visits back in the day and stuff growing up in Atlanta.
I want
right
to
there.
know what the split's going to be. 60-40, 55-45.
Got to be. I think it's going to be 50-50 probably.
Clemson's going to show up.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I know Georgia takes that building over at times, but
we'll see.
Well, Georgia wants to play 4 times this year in Mercedes.
Oh, yes. I bet they do.
Our Aflac kickoff game, the SEC championship, our Chick-fil-A Peach Bowl, which will be a quarterfinal game.
I can't wait.
And then the national championship. And you talk about, great years for college football.
Can you just
Airbnb? The
Airbnb?
capital of college football. We got 1 versus, say, 15 in Clemson. 2 SEC teams will be top 10 in their championship. You got the quarterfinal, which can be 2 top 10 teams, right? Because we get a champion of one of the leagues, which is going to be in the top 10. And then you got the national championship game. So 4 games. The lowest ranked team is going to be 15.
Well, and what I love too with this SEC championship is a bye will be on the line. Correct? If you win, right? I mean,
you win, you get one.
You win, you get a bye.
Now,
so
maybe
it's right there in front of
the
you.
loser would, but probably not. Yeah, you get a bye.
Yeah, the 4 top
and the other
champions,
team's going to be hosting a playoff game.
Top champions get buys in Fiesta, Peach, Rose, and Sugar. Right.
It's going to be the most fun year of college football that I
was going to say,
imagine.
you should really think about Airbnb your place out with all these games coming to town. I mean, you can make some money. Like me and T-Bob, we'll just come cover all the games for you.
Yeah, you guys
come
want to stay at my house?
Coney, dude. Yeah, come stay at Lake
All right,
Coney,
you can
dude.
stay at my lake house.
Let's go, dude. Right on. Gary, I cannot thank you enough, man, for everything you do.
Yeah,
college
Gary,
football,
in general,
appreciate
you every
charitable
year.
endeavors, putting together this game. It's so much fun. Thank you, Gary
Come
Stokan,
visit us in Atlanta.
CEO, president of the Peach Bowl. We'll be back with more Off the Bench next.
Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob.
Hey, I want to remind y'all to go to Trash Rangers. That's right, Trash Rangers LLC, Trash Rangers, TrashSignup.com if you want to see how to make the switch very quickly. If you're in Ascension or Livingston Parish, they can handle your residential trash needs. Okay, you go to Trash Sign Up in just a matter of minutes. You select your number of cans, you see your pickup days, prices, all of that. But if you're a business owner, okay, and you need front end. You need front load dumpsters, and you need them picked up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, even up to 6 days a week. And this is business owners anywhere in Baton Rouge. Look, get in touch with Trash Rangers. They understand the unique needs of a business and how everybody's different. And because they're local, they work with you. It's human to human. It's flexible. It's the best prices, the best service, the most reliable. Trash Rangers. Go to TrashRangersLLC.com.
In times of need, get a full list of phone numbers, websites, and other important emergency information on the Demco Stormwatch page at 1045ESPN.com.
There's nothing chill about a hot, sweaty line. Unless you add Mountain Cold Refreshment. Coors Light. Choose chill.
The Windsor Senior Living Community in Mandeville, Louisiana is a beautiful, vibrant apartment community geared toward seniors. They are nestled right in the heart of Mandeville, where seniors live a more carefree lifestyle in spacious apartments with the peace of mind that comes from having a little extra help. Call the Windsor at 985-624-8040 to schedule a lunch and tour. Come see how the Windsor can be your passport to peace of mind.
Jerry and Benny Payne began Central Plumbing Company out of their driveway in Tanglewood Subdivision. 50 years later and 4 generations down the road, we continue to serve Baton Rouge and the surrounding areas for all of their plumbing needs. Residential, commercial, industrial, or hospitality, Central Plumbing is here 24/7, 365.
We want to thank our customers, family, and friends for 50 years of success.
And looking forward to 50 more.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
Farming is a way of life for us. It's not something we get up in the morning and dread going do. It's just something we go to bed at night looking forward to getting up to go do. John Deere equipment is what we as farmers strive to have. So it's in your blood, it's in your veins. It's just a part of who you are. Green is what we want to be in. The other tractors were acquired to patch it up to get to where you want to be. Where we want to be is in John Deere. Flip the switch and learn more about what it means to be powered by sunshine at sunequip.com.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Moscona inviting you to join us for Monday's AFR, presented by Relief Windows, live from Radio Row at SEC Football Media Days, and it's LSU Day. We'll hear from the Tigers. Join us 3 to 6, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Said she tired, little money, need a big boy. Pull up 20-inch blades like I'm Lil Troy. Now it's everybody flocking, need a decoy. Shorty mixing up the vodka with the leak.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria, and 1130 The Tiger.
Oh, what's going on, y'all? Welcome back here to OTB. I do want to remind you that all of our 2024 coverage here from SEC Media Days is brought to you by Parrish Construction and Roofing. Visit parrishbuilt.com. Also presented by Rev Business and Relief Windows. Jake, one of the most sneaky, interesting things I learned this entire day is, man, we have really messed up Fuanga's first name. Did you see how Jim said it? Taliesin? Is that what he is that?
You know what? When he said it, I said that is so far from what we say that I'm not going to ask you to repeat that because I'm embarrassed.
I'm embarrassed too. It's bad on us. So for everybody that picked that up on it, I apologize.
Maybe he messed it up. Not probably not.
I
like that you're like, dude, come on, bro. Come on, man.
I don't think so. Hey, guess what, guys? William Schmidt coming to Baton Rouge. That's right, just in case you missed it. I know we haven't gone back to it in a while. It's been a very fun, fast-moving show today. But somehow LSU, and I know Moscona's got to be hyped, High coming through.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that.
And a guy who should have been a top 15 MLB pick, making over $2 million. There's rumors that maybe his numbers at 3 or something. He has foregone that, and he is now bringing his talents to LSU, the top right-handed pitcher in all of high school, in the entire country last year. Louisiana Gatorade Player of the Year, a cat that already throws 98. Coming to LSU. Of course, still no Bear Jones or Griffin Herring name called. No Braswell yet. We'll update this throughout the week as it continues to go on. But
big win, to say the least.
I
mean, immediate, I would assume, immediate starter on the weekend.
That's the that is the scouting report, right?
Yes.
He has to follow through with it, and you always hope that guys do fulfill their potential. But in terms of how we think of him, yes, that would be.
And I know, Cam Johnson came in with a lot of hype, and it didn't work out. He's no longer
similar.
He's like next door to us, the Oklahoma crew. He's there.
Yep.
He's now at Oklahoma, so. I realize that, but this feels even bigger than that. I mean, I said it. This is the highest-rated guy to ever come to campus.
Yeah,
of all time of LSU baseball.
Ever.
So, I mean, think about some of the players that were highly rated. So.
And again, it's also kind of makes sense though, because you look at the draft and like, there's only one high school player in the top 10, 2 in the top 15. Like all the names that are getting drafted are all names that you're used to running into, and that I won't be sad to see the back of. Goodbye, Caglione. Goodbye, Hagen Smith.
Kidding.
Goodbye, Christian Moore. Goodbye, Charlie Condon. Like, I cannot wait to never have to see any of you ever again. But I hope you do good in the bigs, for sure.
Yeah. Like, I'm not rooting against you now, but I surely was. Like, that Wake Forest roster, the fact that they didn't get
3 top 10
Omaha.
picks, dude. 3 top. That's a big failure. Big failure for the Deeks. Shout out Tommy White going 40th overall to
Maybe
the A's
that's why
as well.
Walter didn't get any of the jobs that were open.
Yeah, you're right, exactly. So everyone's like, kind of sucking his teeth, like, hey, your blue chip ratio, dog, was pretty crazy.
That's true.
Your MLB
true.
draft pick ratio.
That is true.
All right, let's do this. We can actually take an early break, and for once, we can do like a real ask. Or am I going too early here? No, we can do like a whole segment. Do like an actual whole segment. Often in the early days of Baton Rouge, when Jordy was a constant kind of like stretch. But
yeah, but now like us being syndicated, that's where it messes up, right?
Yeah, it messes up the network breaks for everybody else.
Yeah.
But it was funny. So I looked down at the clock and I saw that you were like a minute past break, and Matt was standing next to me, and he realized it at the same moment that I did, and I could see the panic, in his eyes. Yeah. But then, to Matt's credit, he was like, oh, well, whatever.
Because he would have done the same thing.
Yeah, he was like, whatever. Let them go as long as they want. So really, I could have just kept him forever.
Well, but then I was respecting BK's time. So I know they're on a tight schedule. So I thought, look.
But y'all are like kind of big chilling over here.
He gave us 15. That's what we wanted. We wanted 15.
Dude,
he gave us 15. He looked good.
I told him twice.
Suit
was incredible. Tan looked great.
That's Pierce Bespoke.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
Lost, looked like he lost a little weight.
Yeah.
Are you pleased that you wore your suit on BK Day? That
yes.
He was like you were sitting next to him in the same.
Yeah, it's a good bit. I'm glad I threw it in at the last minute because I never look presentable at these things, and finally, for at least this one day, I have. And it's a bit empowering. And it feels good when you feel like you look good.
You're getting. I posted a video of you in your suit. We're getting a lot of positive feedback. Your friend Ian said, "Who is this man and what has he done with T-Bob?"
Yeah.
He said he looks good. I've just never seen him in a suit outside of a wedding event.
He's the one too that always that took the picture of me looking like an overstuffed can of biscuits in the Georgia Dome and just constantly brings it up as well.
You know what? I didn't notice it then. Big glow up for our guy. You look good.
Thanks,
you really did.
Thanks,
glow
guys.
up, man.
It was very kind. Yeah, I'm not feeling great because right after dinner last night we went back and I ordered a BLT because I don't know why. Just
wait. After dinner?
We went to dinner.
Y'all
got
went to
home,
dinner. You got
and I
home.
was like,
and
we
ordered
didn't go to
BLT.
the bar. I guess I might as well get some food. And dude, this BLT was fire, bro. The thing was huge, dude.
Well, it doesn't surprise me, though, because the whole time we were at dinner, looking for places to eat dinner, T-Bob kept talking about all he could think about was getting room service. And getting a sandwich.
Yeah. You know how it is.
Yeah.
It's like you know how it is when room service enters your head. It's just really
a
hard
room
to wanna get away
service
from
like
it.
club sandwich, BLT, burger and fries with a Diet Coke. Doesn't matter how full I am. I'm going to partake.
All right, so here's what we're going to do. We're going to go to break. When we get back, we'll do Ask the Bench, brought to you by Cold Coors Light, Vizzy Hard Seltzer, Blue Moon, Light Sky, Citrus Wheat. More OTB coming up next.
Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob.
Go to Coleman Roofing and Construction, ColemanRoof.com, ColemanRoof.com. Coleman Roofing and Construction, they are your most complete, most reliable, and most respected roofing company in the entire state of Louisiana. And look, man, you look at why I use these words complete. It's anything commercial, residential. It's any type of roof. It's anywhere in the state. reliable, respected. Just go look at the online reviews. For me, getting to know them, I love the culture there, the amount of work they put into making sure that their customers' needs are taken care of every single job, that the job is done correctly, efficiently, all the way through cleanup. And it's the construction portion as well, where they actually rebuild your house if something happens to it. Like a tree falls, it's not just the roof, they do the interior as well. Coleman Roof, go to colemanroof.com.
Get the 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge app powered by Bayou Ford and tap the microphone icon to send us your thoughts in an audio message. Your message could be played on air during Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob, The Hunt Palmer Show, and after further review with Matt Moscone.
At Relief Windows, we're more than windows. We're windows, doors, hardy plank, and vinyl siding. But our #1 product is always customer satisfaction. Visit us online at reliefwindows.com. Oh, by the way, we do shutters too.
Breck teamed up to reimagine your parks, and you imagined big. With your help, we went to work, creating 12 beautiful community parks across the parish. A family-sized water park, miles and miles of trails, and parks just for your dogs. There are more places to splash, to explore, to run wild, and even soar. You imagined, we delivered. Gold. Breck, your #1 park system in the nation.
Electricity is all around us, and our families depend on it. Every day is sparked by the power of a cold drink or a warm meal, a movie night, and a comforting light at the end of a dark hallway. From sunrise to sunset, playtime to bedtime, our team is ready to take care of your electrical needs. Even in the case of an after-hours emergency, the light in your life shines brighter with Mr. Electric.
Hey, it's Matt Moscone. For years, you've heard me tell you about Insurance Network of Louisiana, helping you find better coverage for less money. But it's not just for your home and auto. They also offer commercial property. So, retail stores, professional offices like doctors, dentists, attorneys, clothing boutiques. Insurance Network of Louisiana can find you better coverage for less money. They service the entire state of Louisiana, and they're local. So call today at 293-0450 or lainsurance.net.
Jerry and Benny Payne began Central Plumbing Company out of their driveway in Tanglewood subdivision. 50 years later and 4 generations down the road, we continue to serve Baton Rouge and the surrounding areas for all of their plumbing needs. Residential, commercial, industrial, or hospitality, Central Plumbing is here 24/7, 365.
We want to thank our customers, family, and friends.
Join me for a Monday edition of the Hunt Palmer Show presented by Gulf Coast Office Products. I'll be in Baton Rouge. SEC Media Day is ongoing. LSU takes their turn at the podium. And the MLB Draft ongoing. We'll react to it all on the Hunt Palmer Show. 1 to 3 weekdays, 104.5 ESPN, Baton Rouge.
Tell me what you really like. Baby, I can take my time. We don't ever have to fight.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria, and 1130 The Tiger.
All right, welcome back in. OTB here on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge. We actually got out on time, so an extended Ask the Bench brought to you by Cool Coors Light, Busy Heart Seltzer, Blue Moon, Light Sky, Citrus Wheat. Even though, T-Bob, we have an extended version, don't really see any Ask the Bench just quite yet.
What?
I turned all the
one time, guys?
I turned all the microphones up. I don't know which one I'm on or you're on. I just kind of pressed all three up.
We're
there,
on 2 and 3.
2 and 3. Okay.
The one time that we finally do an extended Ask the Bench, and nobody's even sending Ask the Bench questions in. How sad!
Oh my God!
I mean, did I nail it or did I nail it?
That's the first time you've ever gone to hit that and actually went with the right one. I'm proud of you.
And the best part is, it was a complete guess. I had no idea. I had no idea
you
what
did
I was
it like with a
hitting,
lot
dude.
of faith. I'm proud of you.
Ask the Bench favorite, brought to you by Colker's Light Visitor, Tulsa Blue Moon Light Sky Citrus Sweet. Ask the Bench favorite Michael Jackson song.
Oh man, God, that's a tough one.
Billie Jean. Yeah, just go
so
chalky.
Good. Billie Jean's so good.
Just go chalky.
Man in the Mirror is really good. What was the one from Free Willy? That was a banger.
Oh, I love that, the Free Willy song. Actually, that takes dun 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 dun.
Yeah.
Dun, 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 dun. That one actually probably meant the most to me growing up, 100%.
Yeah. Okay.
I mean, did no one say Thriller?
No one said Thriller.
I mean, you know we weren't going to go chalky.
Yeah, I know, but it's like the one that everybody, everybody knows the dance.
I mean, Billie Jean
I
might
like
be my
the Thriller
favorite,
video more than any Michael Jackson video. Like,
Are you familiar with any other Michael Jackson videos?
I mean,
yeah, the black or white one was famous because of the transitions.
Yes.
I would say through like pop culture osmosis, yes, but no, not in the way that I am Thriller.
Smooth Criminal, a good call, Scott.
Ask the Bench.
We got one texted in from my brother. Ask the Bench. Backstreet Boys or NSYNC?
NSYNC.
Backstreet
98
Boys.
degrees.
98 degrees. Loser.
I feel like
I mean, that was a joke, but outside of Justin Timberlake, nobody has staying power like Nick Lachey's had. He's still hosting these reality shows.
that's true.
What reality shows?
Well, but
Love
the
is Blind,
NSYNC
right?
guys. Well, wait.
Oh, really?
So
I did
some
not
of the
know that.
NSYNC guys and some of the Backstreet Boys, like the background guys, they are on tour right now. So I don't know.
I do like Joey Fatone a lot.
He's on tour right now with
AJ from Backstreet Boys.
pretty
They're
sure.
coming to Baton Rouge. I saw a billboard. That's how I know that.
I still love too that Joey Fatone's name is Fat One, and that's what they like tell him. Ask the Bench. Where are you getting food after this? I don't know. Hopefully
I'm
somewhere
literally,
better tonight.
when I get done with here, I am sprinting upstairs to start working for Sirius, and I get done at 4.
Yeah.
So nowhere.
But
Coffee.
I did hear that we are going to a fancy Mexican restaurant tonight, and I am
Hell yeah.
very excited.
God, now I'm seeing myself with this top button up. I should have this top button up the entire time. Oh, well. Let's chat.
You live and you learn.
Ask the Bench. How do we feel about an 8-foot, 280-pound alligator gar being caught in Toledo Bend? I saw a picture of that yesterday.
My
that
God.
thing is
That has to be the state record.
It's
Has
a
to be.
dinosaur. What I don't understand is how do you catch that? Like, because it's not
With
like
hopes
you're,
and prayers.
Like, it's not like you're not. It's not like you're deep sea fishing, so you're not gonna have your your belt ready to fight it. Like,
Dude.
were you tracking this monster? Did
I
they
mean,
know about it?
You know that area just as well as I do. I mean, you had some fellows with you. Hey, come get a turbo.
I mean,
I'm 30 minutes in.
God, I cannot
I
fathom.
mean, it had to take 4 or 5 guys.
Had to. I mean, more maybe.
Yeah,
I don't know
that's a
how
big
fishing
boy.
works, but that feels aggressive.
Ask the Bench, favorite interview of the day. It's got to be BK. That was great to have him on. Seems relaxed, seems confident. Didn't shy away from anything. I actually wasn't even doing the position group question as an interior defensive line thing.
You didn't? No.
And then he took it, and he ran with it. And then I liked his answer and kind of look as far as being ready and knowing what we have here in week 1. Like, it's the 3rd year.
Yeah.
Saying that now we should know, and there should not be these disconnects that we've seen of the last couple of years. Ask the Bench. Did y'all bring a console to play College Football 25 later on? We did not bring a console, unfortunately.
Right.
Ask the Bench. If you're on a first date and the woman says she loves Nickelback, do you bring her straight home or force her out the car on the spot? Oh, good God. Taylor, maybe you might be the best to answer that. Is that that's how Victoria and Taylor actually originally fell in love?
Until they met.
No, you bring her straight home. Found out the other day, Victoria, not a big Nickelback fan. It was a little bit upsetting.
Did you kick her out? Make her sleep on the couch, maybe?
No, but I should have.
Never going to work.
Hashtag Ask the Bench.
Oh.
How do y'all feel about John Emery being number 44? Does that make him a fullback?
In my eyes.
I love it if he is number 44 because it's like he's like he's gone through so much adversity.
Exactly. Yes.
And this is like him being reforged and saying, I'm humble, I'm hungry, get that single-digit crap out of here.
Yo,
I'm a workman, and I'm ready to go.
It might not have seemed like a big deal at the time, and I know he's battled some injuries and off-the-field stuff, but when he's out there, LSU ain't got a guy like that.
Yeah, no.
They got
true.
talent. Josh Williams is steady. Caleb Jackson's he's a freak show. I get that. But in dynamic playmaking, home run ability, they ain't got a cat like John Emery. So that's big.
All right, let's get ask the bench over under how many marks T-Bob has tonight. I'd say 4.5 is the line. I would put it at 3.5, but we could do 4.5.
Feels like a lot.
3.5 marks.
4.5 marks.
That's a lot. If you go 5 marks, you're pretty schnockered. At that point, you're gonna be very
schnockered.
You're gonna be very drunk.
And then T-Bob will be rolling up in the swim trunks tomorrow.
Yes, fruit shirt and swim trunks will be back in gear for tomorrow. Hey, my chat is screened up. Jay, can you get us some questions?
Let's see if we have it. Ask the bench least favorite coach to interview.
I feel like I know your answer. Or no, maybe not.
Zach Arnett.
Yeah, I know your answer.
Zach Arnett was not good.
I don't interview a lot of coaches. I actually can't say. Like I've never one-on-one
Zach
a lot
Arnett
of these guys.
is not the worst though. Bob Huggins was the worst.
Huggy Bear?
For what reason?
He was he agreed to do the interview, and it was so loud in the background. He had his practice going on in the background.
He didn't care.
He was giving one-word answers, and it devastated me because I'm like, Huggy Bear?
Yeah.
What? I was so excited. It was so bad, T-Bob.
A2 Huggy.
I cut it at 4 minutes. I was like, nah, this is terrible.
I do remind you about Aggitemp Baton Rouge, Aggitemp BR, all your AC, heating, and electrical needs. Aggitemp is there for you when you need them. They give you that service to the highest degree. I'm always telling you guys, it's not just lip service, okay? They mean it. There's a reason why with thousands of reviews they have a 4.9 out of 5. And it's because everything they do is about making sure that the customer is satisfied. When you work with Aggitemp, you will be blown away, and that is a good pun, but you will legitimately be blown away. Like, my wife had no idea even in a commercial when they come out the first time, and she was like, that was the best customer service I've ever gotten. Aggitemp of Baton Rouge. All right.
We got one from Jackson Hester.
Oh, let's go.
Ask the bench, when will I be getting NCAA football? You can get it today.
Yeah.
Was it 3 p.m.?
Yeah, get it.
Well.
You can get it. You and your brothers. I've already budgeted for this.
Okay, if you're agreeing to buy it today, though, I think that means you're going to be paying $100 a pop as opposed to $60 a pop for each game, because today's technically 3 days early. You only get it today if you pay the extra fee to get it 3 days early.
Did you budget for that?
I kind of did.
Okay, I'm just making sure.
Hey, but listen, Jackson, that means you're listening. Don't tell your brothers that. All right? You're the oldest, okay? You're the first in line. You're the prince. You can do it. Don't tell your brothers.
Yeah, I mean, they only need one copy and then just take turns on the sticks like we used to.
Yeah, that works out now.
Like we used to back in the day. What?
Yeah.
Now you all need your own box? We used to have to fight and cry and argue and tattle and everything to try to
That's where
get on the
21
sticks.
Skunk came in, because you're like, dude, you're not good enough to be on the sticks.
Yeah, get off.
Yeah.
You're out of here. All right, hey, we love you. Rivers, excellent job, lineup guests, on-site production. Excellent job by Taylor and Alondra back in the studio. We love you. We'll see you tomorrow. More OTB.
Off the bench with Hester and T-Bob.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
The best kept secret in town is out. Discover Tallulah at the Renaissance Hotel on Bluebonnet.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets from education, engineering, legal, and finance with the latest in office